after for everybody about what we just got done talking about, which you'll never know about because you're not with us on the panel. But anyway,
let's just
guys,
keep all that off air.
Good morning. Good morning.
I was checking to make sure it was off air.
We're trying to keep Caliber Corner this morning, G, for our general audiences, not gangsta. So today it is Caliber Corner episode number 227. And let me go ahead and sum up today's episode with 4 words. Will work for ammo. And so today we're going to talk about how to save some money on ammunition. You've got a lot of, well, not a lot of options, but there's some things you can do if you want to offset the cost of that ammo. If you still want to keep shooting and you enjoy shooting like I do, it's a relaxing hobby for me. It's a bit therapeutic. Some people play mahjong. I put holes on paper. It's the same thing when you think about it. So anyway, we're going to go and get things going, get things started here. I've got a lot of little announcements to make after the panel introduces themselves. So let's just go and get right into it. So if you're new to the podcast, I'm Travis P11, and we got a really good panel this morning. And we talk about guns and ammo and pretty much anything else that happens to come up every week. So starting off to my right, we've got Squibload. Squibload is with us. He's awake and chipper as usual. Good morning, Squib.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm awake. I've got an hour and 7 minutes of coffee, of a coffee maker review footage that I've got to whittle down to hopefully under 20 minutes this morning.
Just do the full nut and fancy Criterion cut, director's cut, double-sided DVD. Just to give us the whole review, man. Everything front to back, from unboxing to setup to,
you need to make
off that little cord.
You need to make it a series of 25-minute videos.
Part 1
from now until
Mr. Coffee Part 1, Mr. Coffee Part 2, Mr. Coffee Part 3.
So that begs the question. All right, when you guys do a part 1 or part 2 video or a 5-part series, have you noticed everybody watches the first one and nobody watches any of the other ones? Or is it just me?
No, that's not true. I think it depends on if the series is popular. People will look forward to it. So, I mean, we're 227 episodes in. That's kind of a part 1, a part 2, and part 3, and people are still here. Yeah.
So halftime, whenever it's that, I will stumble across the part 2, 3, or 4, and I'll never go back and watch part 1.
Oh, you're that guy. I see.
No, it's sometimes I can't find it.
Oh,
even on their channel.
Maybe the name had changed or the title was different. They decided to call it something else. I've done that
I can't find it. I was like, well, okay, I guess I'm starting in the middle of the story.
It took me 4 years to standardize how I title Caliber Corner episodes. It goes back, to episode 1. Now it's season 4, episode 227. I try to feel like I'm more official than I really am. So I get it, Foos. It happens. People kind of get lost.
So production value.
Did you use the new coffee maker this morning?
I did. The one that came with no instructions, and I'm the guy that doesn't read instructions, but this time I wanted instructions because there were a lot of complaints on the Mr. Coffee website about this thing not working right, and I can understand. There's just, you got to fiddle with it to get it to work. So that's what I'm trying to show in the video. So I'm going to have fun this morning editing, but I'd like to kind of fast forward. I'm not trying to steal any thunder here, but I want you guys to notice who's on the panel this morning and then look at the title of this episode of Caliber Corner: How to Save Money. And who jumps in? This guy from New York. All you have to do is talk about money and suddenly how to save money, and he'll show up.
If anybody needs to save money, it's this guy. It's New York Outcast over there. I mean, it's, yep. But I mean, he's making millions off this wonderful rnldisplays.com firearms display that you guys can buy at rnldisplays.com, with him being the sole proprietor of the company, rnldisplays.com. Use discount code TP11 to save 11% plus an additional 4%. That's 15% off if you use discount code TP11. What is that? Is that a dead animal? New York Outcast.
Looks like it, right?
My God, are you a taxidermist now?
he's branching out all over the
place. To have a display stand for your deceased animals? Is that
cat's laid out like it got ran over or something?
Furrydisplays.com. So
for every RNL display that you buy, I'll throw in a Mr. Coffee that doesn't come with instructions and may or may not work.
That's awesome. Look at that. Oh, little kitty. So for those of you watching for the first time, this is typically how we start episodes. And every man deep down inside, he won't admit it, but he really is a cat person. Really is a cat person.
No.
You're really cleaning that up, Travis. We'll leave that
Absolutely
alone.
Is a cat person. So you can say no, Foos, but if this little kitten showed up on your front doorstep, you'd take it in and you'd name it after your favorite gun and you'd feed it and raise it and make it your own. So I can't.
No.
Anyway,
I've had cats show up and no.
Okay. All right.
No, sorry.
So Squib, what's new on the channel, man? What do you got coming up? So for those of you that don't know, Squibload has a fantastic channel. You should all go over there and subscribe. What do you have to offer?
Actually, I don't even remember. I've actually had people commenting on videos that have popped up, and I'm going, oh, did I schedule that to publish? I actually published a video on my A channel, on this channel, and then on one of my B channels within like 2 hours of each other on the same day and didn't even realize it. But I mean, it worked out fine. I know I've been doing more of the speaking Squibbish. I still do like 40 takes on them before I finally get something that's still terrible, but good enough to publish. So I've got to go back through some of my footage in the truck and see what I've got going there. I thought about doing another one about the whole Ukraine situation, but I'm not really too sure if I want to. Yeah, that's just maybe for another channel.
Everyone's doing shit for the Ukraine. It's like, okay, you're not like what you're saying is there's nothing original.
It's not about being original. It's just there's a lot of people out there that want things to happen, or a lot of people out there that seem to think that they know how the weapon systems work or how the tactics are employed and stuff like that. And those are the sorts of videos I was thinking about, is trying to explain why this big organization isn't doing this thing that everybody wants or something like that. But I don't know if I'm going to do some videos like that. So what's coming up? I really can't remember. I just know that I try to film all week when I can. And then I definitely film on the weekends. And then the following week before work, I start doing editing, and then I load them into the studio, and then I try to set up a schedule, and sometimes I'll stagger them. If I've got a bunch of stuff, I'll do one every day, but I just did that in December as an experiment, trying to do one every day of the month. That was really difficult to do, and I just wanted to see what it would do to my numbers, and it did nothing. So it was a fun experiment, and maybe it was the wrong month of the year to do that sort of thing, but yeah, if you see that, 1 week I've got 7 videos and the next week I've only got 1, it's kind of hit or miss. Tuesday nights, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I was doing 3 videos a week for about 4 years straight, not counting Caliber Corner. I was pushing out 4, and it didn't. I mean, my channel's grown, but I'm still under 50,000 subs, and I've been been out for 7 years. But it just kind of depends on what kind of appeal you have, and if you get a series going that people want to tune in for every time you make an episode of it. You just got to find that niche, I think, that people really enjoy, and then go with it, or just do whatever you want, not care. I mean, that's the other route too, which is totally fine. If you're happy doing it, then so be it,
I have been working on some black powder revolver stuff, but it's been kind of difficult to film. Like I took the one revolver apart to show how to dismantle it. I'd never taken it apart before, and I did so many takes on that before I finally got something that I thought was worth publishing. Putting it back together has been a struggle because I threw it out of time, and I really don't know what I'm doing, and I'm kind of learning as I'm going and putting time into that. Have you ever noticed it's easier to just do it than it is to try to do it and film it while you're doing it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you're always nervous about making mistakes and saying things and not realizing what you said till after the take is done filming and stuff like that. So it's just like shooting at the range too. I tend to shoot better when the camera's not on, but yeah.
So I'd really like to do these 2 videos where I show how to do some disassembly on it and some reassembly, and explain some of the things I learned about how to put it back together and all that. But I might just scrap the footage altogether. So I don't know. Just really, as usual, just trying to have fun. I enjoy doing the live shows about as much as I enjoy doing videos. So I'm glad that we got a full panel this morning.
Oh yeah. No, it's going to be a good show. I think we're gonna have a good discussion, and everybody kind of has their own philosophy behind what they do about ammo, or what they're not doing about ammo. And I think it'll make for some good discussion. So I got like 4 key points to talk about, but if anybody has any ideas, they can throw their stuff out there. So that's good. So, all right, Chris from the 740, welcome back. Good morning. Hey, so how are things going with you?
Going great, man. Thanks for having me on. Yeah. I enjoy getting up doing this show on Saturdays. It's fun.
Okay,
2 weeks in a row.
I know. This is a winning streak now. It's a winning streak. When do you do your live show? What are the hours for, in case people are kind of curious about your channel and what you have to offer?
We do Wednesday nights, 8 to 10 Eastern. I try to bring on, it doesn't happen every week, but I always try to bring on a YouTuber that hasn't done like a live chat before, bring them on and introduce everybody to their channel.
Yeah.
So last weekend we had, or last Wednesday night we had Skip's Guns come on, channel that I really enjoy, and I wanted to kind of get him out to my audience and let him go check him out. So that's kind of
what pretty receptive about coming on the show. I mean, are they pretty good about it? Or some people kind of say, no, I don't want to do that. Or do you have anybody that,
I've only had one.
I'll say they're already on camera, so it's not like people don't know who they are,
Right. I've only had one guy that didn't want to do it. Sometimes you'll get them where they'll be like, well, could I come on in 2 weeks? And then they want to watch one first before they come on and do it. So, but yeah, no, I've only ever had one guy that said he didn't want to come on and do it. So,
okay. All right. Well, cool, man. Well, guys, get over there and subscribe to Chris from the 740. He's got a good channel with lots of great content. New person kind of in our circle and stuff, which is awesome to see. So,
hey, Chris, have you noticed how some people are kind of nervous to come onto a show for the first time and that sort of thing? Have you had some, maybe some pointers to try to, let them know that this is easy to do and it's kind of fun?
Yeah, I always try to get them to come in, try to get them in the back chat about a half hour before we go live. And just explain to them what kind of questions are going to get asked and things like that. So that way they're not getting blindsided by anything. And we keep mine pretty casual. I mean, we don't go real in depth with anything. So.
Yeah. No, it's all right though. It's kind of fun to do and just need to get out there and kind of talk about what you do and kind of build a bit of a fan base and stuff. So it's always cool to do. Cool, man. All right. Well, glad to have you with us. And yeah, it's good to see you back here, coming back week after week. So, all right. Also joining us, back again for the first time, right? New York Outcast. I don't know if you've ever been a guest on Caliber Corner. I think I've been emailing you for 5 years now, but that's okay. We're glad you're here. You're a busy man. I understand that and I respect that. So what do you got going on these days, man? How are you doing?
Well, first off, thanks for having me. I do appreciate the invites.
Yep.
Sometimes Saturdays are usually pretty late for me. All right, Fridays, so
yeah.
I don't always lucky to catch the show midstream. So
yeah.
But again, thanks for having me. Basically, I got just a little bit of variety of stuff. Some few gun reviews, a few product reviews. It's mainly affordable EDC stuff. Some just entertainment as well on my channel, and I've also got R&L displays going.
Yeah, Kevin Jung out there is giving you a little shout out. He says Rob R&L displays, so we can show off these fine handcrafted American-made weapons, furniture, accessories, right?
For us to rob R&L displays, we need your address.
I'd prefer not to be robbed.
It takes Glock mags. Yes, it does take Glock. This is great.
If it takes Glock mags, I'm good.
It does take Glock mags. That's right. Yep. So yeah, you gotta guys make sure you get over there and check those out. They're very, very cool.
Am I the only only person in here that does not own something that takes Glock mags?
Nope. I have my PC carbine, I guess.
I don't have anything Glock compatible right now, to be honest with you. But I did sell my G17 about 2 months ago. So
I just want to point out that New York Rob has a hard time defending his household because those neutered grips he can have on his ARs.
No, it's better than nothing. So it's better than nothing. Yeah. But anyway, man, I'm glad that you're with us. And again, we'll see what you do, especially if you live in a state that's got high taxes or is always taxing the heck out of stuff. What can you possibly do to save some money? So New York G23 says the Yorker has a channel. So New York Outcast, what is your channel called? What's your YouTube channel called?
New York Outcast.
Exactly.
Yep.
So is it they just type in NY space Outcast and it just pops up exactly as we see it right here?
Correct.
Okay. Because I've seen some of your videos before. I've actually seen more of your stuff over on Gunstreamer when I was more active over there. I still post over there and stuff. That's kind of one of the first, and then also over on GunTube, guntube.org also. So yeah, so there you go, guys. Get out there, check it out. We'll go through some of the comments you guys are putting on the YouTube side here in a little bit. There's a lot of good information already flooding out there about saving money and a lot of good information about concealed carry too. So, all right. Also joining us, we've got Foos. Foos, what's going on, man? How's your morning treating you? You good?
Since I woke up about 10 minutes
ago.
Yeah. It's going well. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Can't wait for the season to.
When do you have your first competition? Have you already had a competition or not?
A couple locals. I'm driving Next weekend, I am driving 4 hours straight south. Well, a bunch of us are driving 4 hours straight south to shoot a local. It's 10 stages on Saturday, 10 stages on Sunday. So it's a bigger thing. People have flown into it in the past.
I was gonna say that sounds like it's a large event. Yeah.
And then the next weekend I have my first major, and the weekend after that I have Tulsa. So I'm going to be putting. Yeah. I plan on spending way too much in fuel the next.
I was gonna say you could almost fly for the price of driving to that one competition. You could almost get, but that'd be one way.
There's 5 of us going down this weekend. Next weekend, I think there's 2 of us carpooling. So.
Okay, well that'll offset things quite a bit too. That's good.
What's your major, Foos?
It's Ozark Classic.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So it's 3 hours south. I used to shoot at that range quite a bit whenever I lived in Arkansas. So it's right outside of Springfield, Missouri.
That's a good match.
Very cool, man. All right. Also joining us here, my neighbor just up the road is Defense Dad. Good morning, Defense Dad. How's it going?
Oh, not too bad. I wasn't originally going to be here. I had a class I was supposed to be at this morning, but I messed my knee up this week. So.
Oh, it's like stop class for driving or what?
No, out of Nebraska Shooters, a defensive pistol.
Gotcha. Yeah, you had mentioned that. You gonna be okay, man? You gonna be all right? Are you walking around all right, or what?
Oh, luckily I have a 3-day weekend. I spent most of the day in bed with my knee elevated. My knee's kind of swollen up about twice the size as it should be.
Oh man. So are we shooting today or not? Are you going out?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. Because I don't know if we were gonna go out today. I know I'm gonna take a couple rifles out today and do some shooting, so I'll head out later on then. All right. Well, you got a cool channel anyway. So if you guys, yes, you do. Oh, okay. Awesome content, good reviews, lots of neat recommendations for different products. And again, you cover some of the more higher dollar, gear, and then some of the more practical, budget friendly gear, which is good to have. So you guys get over there and check out Defense Dad's channel. Anything good coming up anytime soon? You got to give us a little sneak peek or a little teaser on something you got featuring on the channel or what?
I've been doing more gear reviews like knives and stuff lately. But yeah, I got about 7 guns I got to review that I haven't done yet. So got to get going on that. I've been working more on the July meetup thing this week, so I didn't get a chance to do any filming.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment too, once we get a little shout out to the YouTube side. So cool. So guys, get over there and make sure you subscribe to Defense Dad's channel. All right, so joining us this morning, we got G23 out there. He's got a show that's coming up this evening, right? Make sure that you're ready for checking out G23. Tactical Fud is out there, and Gabriel, very, very chatty this morning. He's one of the first people to chime in this morning, and we're talking about ammo and so on. We'll check the survey here when we get to the topic of reloading, right, to save money. If you can save money, is it possible to save money? It might be possible to save money nowadays. It all depends on the person. Also joining us, we've got Scott79 and Chris from the 740s out there and over here. Kevin Jung is in the house. Good morning, Kevin. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guys out there watching this morning. Zinger's out there, says, howdy, fellas. Southpaw RX is watching today. Tommy Gunn joining us from the land up north, Canada. Tacos and French fries. Gunpowder Beauty. Single Shot just showed up. We've got, who else is out there watching today? J-Boy Productions is out there watching too. Mountain View's with us today. Squibliff's out there and over here. I think it's just about everybody. Mike's out there also. If I miss anybody, I do apologize. Let's go ahead and let Single Shot get his introduction in, and then we'll address some of the comments showing up on the YouTube side already, and then we'll go ahead and get our discussion going on. So we've got Silent One's out there also. Says, I don't trust this kind of thing from a video learning how to reload. We will talk about that, Silent One, because you have a lot of options. Single Shot, how's your morning going? What's going on, brother? How you doing? Single Shot, are you there?
Not too bad. Not too
there
bad.
You are.
How's
all right.
Everybody else doing this morning?
We're doing good. We're just kind of living the dream right now. We're going to talk about maybe saving some money on ammo if possible. We've got a lot of different avenues a person can pursue. So, guys, make sure you check out Single Shot's channel. He's got another great channel, lots of reloading videos and lots of cool different firearms and different calibers. So what you got coming up, Single Shot? You got any new videos in the pipe that we can be watching for, or what?
Yeah.
There you are. Okay. Yeah. Do you got any new content coming up on the channel you want to let us know about?
Yeah, there's a couple on Rumble there that I mentioned that has been posted on the channel. and one of them was just a video about my opinions about what's going on today, and the other one was a casting video that I did a while ago. Thought it uploaded, but it didn't. So we got two new videos there.
Okay.
That's something I need to get back into this spring, is get some casting done for a couple of my older firearms.
Yeah. Yeah, because nothing's going down in price. That's obvious. So, I mean, there's, especially if you got certain calibers you want to shoot, or if you just want to.
I probably have 800 to 1,000 pounds of lead that I can sit there and cast. And,
yeah. That'll make about 200 rounds of 45-70. Is that right? No. So
I need to cast some stuff for my Schmidt Rubin. I think I'm going to go more original and actually try to do some paper patching on that than just doing FMJs.
Mm-hmm. That's all right, man. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, I found a 200 grain 308 mold, so it's close to the 220 that it's supposed to have, and then I'm going to sit there and paper patch it and see how that works.
Gotcha. Cool. There's a lot of discussion out there in the chat on the YouTube side. A lot of it's coming from M. Gabriel out there. Constitutional carry updates from everybody, just kind of as a heads up before we get into the ammo discussion. What was it? Alabama constitutional carry was passed and signed by Governor Kay Ivey an hour later.
Didn't Indiana?
Indiana passed and was sent to governor. Indiana has an easy veto override. Alabama just passed constitutional carry this week, goes active 1/1/2023. God, it sucks. You got to go almost 11 months for that, 9 months for that. Georgia concealed carry. Each chamber passed a different bill so far. Nebraska concealed carry passed the filibuster hurdle. So I think we've got, defense side, help me out, one more round of debate. Is that and one more vote? Is that right?
Yeah, they got the final 3 votes they needed to break the filibuster, so it goes to the second round. And I think we'll get it.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. There was a lot of debate about trying to tack on little things here and there, but yeah, no.
I'm hoping that we get it. Senator will keep her mouth shut. That'd be great.
Yeah, we've got a couple people that are very just outspoken and just throwing everything out there that they possibly can to try to get something to stick. And
she called all of the NFOA members there watching it white supremacist up in the balcony.
I don't know what the exact comment was. I'm surprised that didn't make national news for saying something about that, talking about your constituents like that. Yeah. Considering the NFOA member is not Caucasian, right?
Yeah,
the NFOA president is not Caucasian, right?
Her family's from Argentina.
Yeah. Wow, man. Talk about that's spicy, in the words of Johnny B, right? That's spicy right there. So I don't know, man. We'll see if anything comes of it. But that was not. If I would have been there, I would have been completely outraged at a comment like that. But anyway, I'm hoping Nebraska gets them
voted out.
I don't know.
So
and
what
she
happens?
goes on. She tweets and says, "Oh, I'm all for the Second Amendment with some regulations." It's like, no. That's not how this works. Oh, go ahead, Foos. Yeah.
Sorry, I wouldn't grab another pot of coffee.
Oh no, that's mine.
Cup. What were you talking about? Was there something in Nebraska that went down, or?
Yeah, we passed our latest round for constitutional carry. We've got like one more round of debate and then a vote, and then hopefully goes off to the governor's desk. But we had one of our representatives. I'm not sure what county she represents or where she's from specifically, but she had made all this banner and comments and had referred to, basically literally called people sitting up on the balcony up there observing white supremacists. She referred to them as white supremacists. So yeah, it was really, really out there. I'm like, whoa, okay, all right. I mean, freedom of speech to a point, but wow, yeah. I mean, I wish I would have been live streaming it. That would have just been insane, but.
Oh, so you were there?
No, I was not there. No, and Defense and Sandhills was meeting me at the front because I had some stuff I had to give him. I dropped off some stuff for him at the Capitol building, and he was outside when it happened and went back in there. People were just like outraged. But
I was watching the live broadcast.
Did you hear her say it?
I missed that part.
We gotta go back and check that clip. I think that's something definitely.
There's clips of it.
Oh yeah.
I was watching it at work, but I had to go to the bathroom. I took a bathroom break and I came back and then I heard about it. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it's just like I said, Nebraska, and I've said this a million times. It's just we're the kind of state where it's like having a set of parents that let you have fun, but not too much fun, right? there's things that we are the last state to allow go by on our state compared to the other states that pass certain freedoms. We're always like, now for constitutional carry, we're going to be kind of mid-pack when this happens, but for everything else, it's just like we're just always just so conservative on some things that we don't budge, and that can be a good thing when it's life-changing decisions, but it's ridiculous.
The NRA itself lobbied against our concealed carry bill.
Yeah, they were pushing.
If the NRA lobbies against it, it's probably a good thing.
We don't have a rep here in Nebraska, but the bill doesn't include getting rid of in Omaha specifically. There is a handgun registry, and they opted to not try to fight for that just now to get it gone, because they want to do that after we get constitutional carry passed.
It was there before. It's been there for years, and then the NRA publications that were coming out were saying that our bill includes language to include a handgun registry for the city of Omaha, and it's like, no, you guys are totally wrong, and they better not come out and claim that they had anything to do with us getting this to go through, because it's not the NRA that's helping us. I'm sorry if you're an NRA member. It's the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association and our representatives that are willing to work with us that are the ones that are pushing it through. And that's a nonprofit organization. Those members get paid nothing. It's strictly run off of donations, and that's it. They don't make a dime for what they do. And that's true grassroots activism right there. And they're the ones doing the work on the front line. So if NAGR or NRA comes out and says they had anything to do with it, I will be very, very disappointed.
Well, the NRA doesn't physically have a rep in our state, period.
It'll show up in it'll show up in American Rifleman magazine, a victory for Nebraska with passing constitutional carry. And they're the ones circulating, they're endorsing their message that it's got a registry attached to it, and there's no way we can let this go, and it's an infringement on rights. That debate is for a different time. That's a whole different issue. You want to get this, and like Sandhill said, it's not perfect. No bill's perfect when it goes through. There's always crap that gets attached to things when it gets pushed through on the national level. And what do you do?
But if the NRA wants to have any skin in the game in our state, they need to have a rep in our state. They don't.
You guys are fine without an NRA rep. Quit leaning on that thing. The NRA is a national organization. If the fact that they have a rep in a state, I don't see that as an advantage. Your state organization is going to work harder, work more passionately, and have less corruption than this national organization. The NRA should focus on national stuff. That's National Rifle Association. I realize that they weren't founded to do politics. They just found out that they can cash in doing it. But your state organization or organizations should really do the lion's share of the work, and don't worry about the NRA. Now, if they're interfering, that's one thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not worried about it.
We're trying to say they're tearing on it, and they're not even there giving us any help at all. And they're the ones that are trying to speak out against it because it doesn't rip out preemption for Omaha.
And they're going to try to say something that's best for a state, then you need to have some skin in the game and have someone there.
Yeah.
But now, as far as this goes, will this take care of that sort of thing? If you guys got constitutional carry, can you open or conceal carry in Omaha or Lincoln, and to heck with their city ordinances or whatever?
Not Omaha. Omaha is the only place you have to register and get permission for that.
Yeah, but if you get constitutional carry, that's a state law.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sandhills would be better when I talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay, because
that particular point, I don't know.
If you can open and conceal carry anywhere in the state other than the two biggest cities, it's still a win. But you guys are going to have to go back and get this thing again.
It's not Lincoln. It's just Omaha.
Yeah, the big win for this, though, is the fact that the Omaha Police Department Police Officers Union is not opposed to it, which is huge, because that was one of the reasons why we didn't get it to pass last year, was their opposition to it and the power that had in the votes against it. And they're not opposing the bill as it is right now, of course, because they get to keep their little portion of it. But again, John Sandhills had said that this is one of the first times we've had a state pass constitutional carry without opposition from the police department or police union from a major metropolitan area. So for us, it is a win, because we're going to be able to get this. But
don't you only have one major
no, Omaha and Lincoln. But the fact that we were able to get this to go through, just the one of the biggest cities did not oppose it, shutting it down was a big deal for us. So, yep. All right, so let's get into the discussion about ammunition. Let's talk about this. Let's go ahead and get the party started. So, a couple quick announcements real quick. Range Day coming up June 4th, 2022. If you're interested in attending Thunder on the Prairie 2022, it is a range day put on by Defense Dad and myself. We're promoting this, getting the message out there that we're doing this. Idea is that it's an opportunity for gun tubers to get together, do some shooting, maybe do some filming if they want to, hang out, just kind of test out some different guns and shoot and just whatever you want to do, right? It's just a day to get together and just kind of enjoy our freedom and just do some shooting at the range. We've got the range for the whole day. And we're essentially looking at going from 9 to 5. We do have lodging options for you that will really help you out a lot, offsetting the cost of the trip. I'm actually going to be buying ammunition to supply for this. Not all of it, but I'm going to be able to supply some to help out offset the cost of it, because I know gas prices are probably going to be high, especially when you hit peak travel season. And we're trying to get some swag lined up too to give to people that attend the event.
Is there steel out at like 100 yards or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to Justin the other day. We're fine to use the steel as long as we're shooting at the right steel, because he's got some steel that's just rated for handguns and some that's rated for rifles.
Okay, cool.
Yes, it's a really nice facility. It is a firearms training school, I guess we could call it, where they do have classes. They do host classes. They're a really nice range. We've got Wi-Fi. We've got an air-conditioned indoors area you can go in. It's going to be really cool. If you're interested in this, you can email me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com, or Defense Dad, what's your email address you want them to use?
DefenseDad1@gmail.com.
Yep. We need to know we need RSVPs by March 31st. If you're interested in this, and if you're not, or if you're maybe interested in starting up a gun channel, or you've got a smaller channel, just ask any questions you might have. We'll be happy to let you know. It is going to be $25 for the day.
$25.
That's not for us. That's for the range. We're not making anything off this personally. So yeah.
And by next week, I got to get him the description typed up, and he'll have it on the website so you can go on and register. When you RSVP, I'll send you the code to register, because it's a closed to the public. So you have to have the code to type it in your registration, but you can pay your fee online, and that locks in your spot.
And again, I don't want to deny anybody from coming to. We're not trying to make this some elitist gun tuber get together. Most of us have small channels anyway. It's not what it's about. It's just a chance to let everybody kind of get together and just have fun and shoot a bunch of different guns. I'm going to bring a bunch of my guns out with me and let people play around with them. And like I said, it's a good time to get together. And a lot of us are kind of in this central part of the country, so it's easy for a lot of us to travel there. A few people are going to maybe be coming from a longer distance, but yeah.
Well, but part of the code, just so you know, is because there's some swag from companies and they need a list. So there's some information you'll do so we can get the right stuff for you.
Yeah, we're trying to get some little prize packs lined up for people that are going to be attending and do some drawings and give away some goodies and stuff. I think it's just going to be a good time. It's kind of a good day to kind of get together and enjoy a little bit of camaraderie. So that's going to be June 4th. It's coming up. Also, I've been getting a lot of requests lately. I've had a couple people on the Patreon side. A few people asked me if I would ever do a weekly episode of Caliber Corner. And if I say yes, I would not stop doing the Saturday morning episode unless I absolutely had to. I'm toying with the idea of doing an evening episode. The problem you run into is that there's a lot of shows, and I don't know if there's any free slots that are open that somebody consistently does a show on a weekly basis or nightly basis. If they do, I don't want to do a show at the same time. Now, I shouldn't care. Bigger channels don't care. They go live whenever they want to, and they don't care, and that's fine. But I don't want to pick some slot that's going to make somebody just get upset about it or whatever and destroy somebody's podcast that they're trying to build up. So I'm just toying with the idea, and I'm sure there's probably somebody that's going to be live at this point. I was thinking about doing a 6 o'clock Central Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Time Thursday show. The later in the week, the easier it is for me with my job, the harder it is for me earlier in the week. So I'm thinking about Thursday from 6 to 7. I don't know if anybody's live at that point consistently. If they're not, I'd like to do a 6 to 7. And I can't, there's stuff like Matt doing hasty headlines, and he'll vary his time on that once in a while. A lot of us have consistent show time. So I thought about doing a weekly show, and it really wouldn't have a specific topic. It would just be kind of a get together and chat kind of show. Maybe some stuff would come up from the week that I've noticed. It won't have a specific topic. It's not focused like Caliber Corner is typically. Yeah, I've done the Monday thing, and that's okay. But just Monday nights, man, I'm tired. Monday's open. Maybe do a Monday. I used to do a Monday show instead of a Saturday when
Monday
I had to travel. But what's that?
Monday is not open. We do Right of the People on Monday now.
See, I told you it's impossible.
It went from Friday to Sunday to Monday, and I think it's going to stay on Monday at 7 Eastern, the only time zone that matters.
No, it's Central Time is the most important one. But anyway, for Thursdays, does anybody live Thursdays at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern? Does anybody know? Is there anybody live at that point consistently on Thursdays? Because I don't want somebody saying, man, that's my time slot. You're quarking me. I'm just asking before I decide to do this, before I decide to commit to it. Anybody know?
Somebody's always live.
Well, I'm trying to think from our little circle of people that watch this and people that are, yeah.
No, I don't know anybody. I would say,
isn't this
somebody.
show a weekly show? Yeah, Tread, it is a weekly show. Caliber Corner is, but I want to do an evening show also because a lot of people are saying that they want to catch it live because they can't because they're busy working on Saturdays or whatever. So I got a lot of requests to do a Thursday evening show. So Kevin June says no one on my sub list has Thursday evening, so we might shoot for Thursday Caliber Corner weekly edition.
What you need to do is just do a replay of this one every Thursday, since they can't catch it.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Well, when I was doing a Monday show, people were upset that I wasn't doing a Saturday show anymore, and then I'm just like, well, I'm trying to, So I'm looking at the idea of 6 o'clock, and I'm thinking Thursdays at 6 because Sandhill Shooter does his show, Sandhills Media does his show on Thursday nights, and that gives me a little bit of time after 7 o'clock before we go into his show till about 10 or 9:30. So just the idea, just so you know, there may be a Caliber Corner weekly edition popping up. We'll see how busy I am in the next couple of weeks, and if we can make it work, we definitely will. So that's what we're looking at doing right now. So AR Gun 1776 is live on Thursdays. G23, what time? Do you know?
80.
What time is that person live? Because if they're going to do a 3 or 4 hour show, I'm just going to go live because I only go live for an hour and I don't care. But if it's going to be like the exact same time,
he doesn't come on till 8 Eastern.
So 7, I'd be done by then. I'd be doing a 1 hour show from 6 to 7. So I might have one spot that's going to be free, and I'm sure that I'm probably going to be going at the same time as somebody else. But if somebody decides to start going live at the same time, I can't do anything about that. But yeah, somebody's saying Wednesday out there also. Wednesday's a possibility, but the later in the week for me, the better. So. All right, and so with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the ammo discussion. How do you save money on ammo? You've got some options. Number one is you just simply don't go shooting. But if you enjoy it like a hobby like I do, you shoot on a regular basis. If you compete, you shoot on a regular basis. If you run a gun channel, ammunition is a consumable commodity. You need ammunition, okay? So a couple things I want to throw out there right now. There's going to be comments where people are going to say, well, you should have been stocking up when it was cheap. Okay, I did. And I've been trying not to buy, not to contribute to the problem. I burned through probably around 3,000 rounds of 9mm. And it's not, some people shoot that in a year. Great, whatever. I burned through about 3,000. I bought around 5,000 rounds of 9mm between 2016 and 2018 because I put the dates on my boxes when I buy it. And I've since burned through 3,000 rounds, not counting the random box here and there that I bought. So I'm at a point where I've got 2,000 rounds of 9mm, which is what I consider my reserves. I don't want to tap into those reserves. Just, 115 or 127 grain, full metal jacket ball ammo. And I'm at a point where I want to start buying. Okay. And so I'm looking at prices, trying to figure out what to do. And yeah, I'm going to be paying double. And yeah, I'm going to be contributing to the problem. But it's a consumable resource that I need. And I didn't buy more back then because I'd already dropped so much money on ammo back in the day anyway. Not to mention the fact that I was buying 5.56 and 7.62 by 39 and 22 LR and 30.30. So to sit there and say, well, you should have stocked up, that answer is not acceptable anymore because now I need ammo. So that's why I'm doing this episode, right? So I'm simply looking at websites online. Well, let's just throw this out there. Let's just go around the horn, so to speak, on what do you do to save money on ammunition? Okay, and then we'll spend time on each of those topics specifically. But I want to know what you do. So Squib, what do you do if you're going to save money on ammo? What do you do if you don't want to? What's your process? Do you not worry about it? Just buy what you need and live life, or what? Squib, what do you do?
So probably the biggest cost savings I have available to me is reloading. I got into reloading before the ammo crunch. I got my equipment. I'm doubled up, tripled up on different tools to do the job. The more you get into it, the more you find that having at least 2 of every tool you need will really help. I don't mean 2 sets of dies per caliber, but like 2 scales or 2 sets of calipers or 2 different bullet pullers or things like that.
Yeah.
At least 2 presses, things like that. You don't have to start off that way. You end up that way. It's a gradual, in my experience, and what I would recommend to somebody who wants to get into reloading is gradually get into it. Start small. You don't have to buy everything on one day and you're reloading that night. It's a gradual process. And then you don't notice the cost because sticker shock, everything you need just to reload 1 caliber, you'll be going, I'll just go ahead and just buy the ammo. Of course, at today's prices, it's hard to say. Yeah. But what happened was after the ammo started flying off the shelf, people suddenly just the light went off over their head. Hey, I'll finally get into reloading. This is the thing that's going to push me into it. And then all the reloading stuff disappeared, right? So if you try to get into reloading right now thinking that's going to save you money, it won't. because components are difficult to get, and from time to time, the equipment is hard to get. But if you can find something for a normal price or for a fair price, you pick it up a little here, a little there. When stuff becomes more available, you'll already have some of the infrastructure you need to reload. So I already have that infrastructure. It's not an issue for me. So that kind of goes back to the whole you should have already bought it kind of thing. From my standpoint, that's my quick, how do I save money? The other thing is not noticing what I spend. I don't run out and buy a case of ammo at today's prices. I pick up 1 or 2 boxes every payday or whenever I happen to be in the store. Like, for example, I owed somebody a box of 450 Bushmaster, right? And nobody's got it right now, but I knew this one store would have it. And I went in there, and they're a little pricey. I don't normally shop there. Sure enough, they had 450 Bushmaster. So I got him that because he lives an hour and a half away, and I was going to meet him for something. And I said, I need to go ahead and just get this. Otherwise, I'm going to keep forgetting I owe him a box of ammo. And while I was there, I picked up a box for me, and I picked up a box of 7.62 by 39. I just kind of threw it on what I was picking up that day. Yeah. And now I've got some hunting ammunition for this fall. I've got another box of 7.62 by 39. I didn't really notice it. If you onesie, twosie. Now, if you're going out to the range every week and you're burning up 1,000 rounds, my way isn't going to work for you. But if you don't have the time to go to the range on a consistent basis, picking it up a little here, a little there, where you're already conducting business. I did a midway order, right? I ordered a black powder revolver and some spare parts. I threw 100 Hornady bullets on there, not cartridges, bullets for reloading. I have plenty of .224 caliber bullets, but Midway's got pretty good pricing on there. So I threw 100 extra. So 6 months from now, when I'm reloading, I have them. I didn't have to pay extra shipping or look around, or what if suddenly they come short. And I was already getting free shipping. What was throwing another $13 on the order going to do to me? Nothing. So I just do it indiscriminately here and there, and I just don't notice the cost. My way wouldn't work for somebody who is not set up to reload or who has to shoot hundreds or thousands of rounds weekly, or else they're going to dry up and blow away.
Now, I agree with you almost across the board. The only thing I will say is now, if you get into reloading, you will start to recoup those savings more than say 3 years ago. So 3 years ago, let me talk. 3 years ago, I did a video called "How Much Does It Cost to Get Into Reloading 9mm?" That video has since exploded. Now, the point of that video was not to talk about saving money at all. It was to show you what does it cost to get started reloading. A lot of people thought it was, and a lot of people made comments 3 years ago like, "Oh my God, you'll never make your money back. You got to shoot thousands of rounds to get your money back, blah, blah, blah." Well, I mean, a point I did make in the video is I'm able to reload my own defensive grade hollow point ammunition for half the price of buying new. So I was saving 50 cents a round rolling my own hollow points, right? And I did save a lot of money. When I was done pressing out what I had done, which was a couple hundred rounds, I almost recouped the whole cost of my entire press setup. So now, especially in my opinion, there's higher prices on reloading supplies. You will start to recoup those savings if you reload the brass and you start to get into it more and more. All right, so Foos, let's move on to you now. So what do you have to say about saving ammo? What's kind of your thought? I mean, and it really does depend on the shooter when it comes to whether or not you're going to save on reloading. Depends on what you reload and how much you shoot. So Foos, what would you say? Yeah.
So the reloading aspect is absolutely 100% thing. To expand on what Squib said, whenever it comes to like reloading with different press, think about it, buying your first AR, and then you upgrade the sights, you upgrade the foregrip, you upgrade this, that, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I'm just gonna, I want ambi lower, so you upgrade the lower. Well, that ambi lower is also your new second press, and then you have everything to rebuild your first gun, and now you have a second gun. It's the same mental, concept with that. But yeah, getting into reloading, the prices of presses have gone up actually quite a bit, but it still is cheaper to get into it if you can find powder and primers. Those are always, and then depending on what you're reloading, some of the brass is harder to find as well. But yeah, reloading is always a way to save money. Actually, you don't save money reloading. That is a fallacy.
Again, I disagree. If I reload enough hollow points, I would make back. It depends on the caliber.
Hold
it depends on what you're shooting.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You shoot more for the same budget.
Who says I'm shooting?
Okay,
Maybe I'm just doing it to stock up. I'm just.
You said that years ago, and if you shoot like Foos, that's what it is. But not everybody's a competitive shooter and dumps 50,000 rounds of the same caliber all year. For the way you do things, you shoot more for less, or you shoot more for the same price. But for somebody who is just doing target shooting, or they're reloading for their family and they just have range day every so often with their family, who's doing some hunting, who's maybe who buys a milsurp gun and it finds that it's easier or cheaper to reload the ammo for that milsurp gun than it is to try to source it or something like that. Reloading paid for itself for me in 6 years. It took me 6 years, and that wasn't me dumping ammo every week at the range and just throwing money around willy-nilly. It paid for itself in 6 years. Individual results may vary, but the kind of shooting you do makes it where you say you shoot more for the same price, but not everybody does what you do.
Right. Yeah. I totally understand that. So that, and then something else I do to help, save on ammo is I do more dry fire.
Yeah.
I like my instead of going to the range and, I'm going to do this and that drill, and then I'm just going to shoot whatever I have left. No, I take a couple hundred rounds, and then I do this drill and that drill, and that's it. Like, I go there with a plan, just like kind of like, a household budget. If you don't have a budget, you blow through money. But if you have a budget, you stick to that budget. That's kind of what I do whenever it comes to, practice. But reloading is always good. What Squib said, buying a box here and there is always good. I still do that for calibers that I don't reload or don't shoot that much.
Well, and where you will save money is times of ammo scarcity. Like when you taught me how to reload 308, that was a time where I couldn't really find 308 on the shelves under $20 a box. So when the prices are up or the pickings are slim, reloading is always a viable option, just because it will save you money versus paying the at that time current prices for ammunition. Now, if we go back down to record low prices on ammo, then we could say, just like what I heard earlier when I made that video 3 years ago, well, you'll never make your money back. You've got to shoot 10,000 rounds at a nickel a round to make your money back on that $350 you spent. But then again, I can also have ammo when I need it, and I can always, You
could also look into reloading as another hobby. It's an offshoot of shooting, but it's still another hobby. How many hobbies do we have that recoup our money? None.
This one has definitely not been a money pit, that's for sure.
It could be like a street racer or something and maybe get money back from winning drag races, but you're risking your life. So I'm just saying, But you got the right idea. It depends.
There's not a lot of money there either.
And then
wear and tear and fines, it adds up.
And then if you have if you shoot nothing but pistol, and you don't want to, you want to figure out how to reload less. Well, up until now, the bullet was the most expensive part of any round. Nowadays, it's depending on what it is, maybe the primer. But back in the day, a projectile was 6 or 8 cents. Well, I could, if you smelt your own, you could get that down to 2 to 3 cents. So that is another thing, is smelting your own and making your own projectile. I know in certain rifles you can or can't do that, powder coating, not powder coating, whatever your flavor of choice is, but there are ways to make the projectiles at a lower cost as well.
Oh, yeah.
Of course,
and that has a secondary savings too. If you're into black powder,
yes,
there are a lot of conical bullets that are either difficult to find for sale or just not available, but they've got the molds. If you want to make your own conicals, you can use the same thing to make those projectiles for your modern ammo. You can use in black powder as well.
Yep.
Not to mention the cost
right.
of gas to go to the ammo store to go buy the ammo.
like
Now.
stuff,
You might have to drop $50 on a round trip to Cabela's, where you could just save it at home if you can roll your own.
Yeah. So like I have a couple different molds for. I have a 33 mold, 150 grain. I have a 178 grain, 309 for 308s, and then I have a 200 for 308. And I have a 7mm, 8mm. I have a one that drops 303 or 7.62 54R, the 314s. So, and then I have a 45, 9, 40, stuff like that you could go ahead and make. And then some people are even pushing, 223s with leads, which you can do that.
So, I mean, depending on how much you want to get into, you can start to, again, recoup that investment immediately with your first batch. Yeah.
If you do the Lee molds, the push-through dies are dirt cheap. The molds are dirt cheap. You just have to make sure that you have the supply of lead.
Yeah.
But it is something else to help do what you do cheaper. Because whenever I first got into it, I was making quite a bit less than what I am now, and I couldn't afford to shoot the volume I wanted and pay the prices of lead. Especially at that time, I was shooting in 1911. Well, yeah, I mean, I was 230 grains of lead gets expensive at thousands of rounds a year.
It's a lot of weight, man.
Yeah, so you get into that, and all of a sudden your bullet cost goes down from 12 cents down to 5. That's huge. Whenever it's the most expensive part of your round.
Gotcha. So go ahead. Yeah, single shot. Go ahead. Yep.
If I can make a suggestion on some of this stuff as well, if you're just out learning the basics or teaching the basics of shooting handgun or rifle, start out with an air gun, because you're going to save a lot of money as far as that goes. But if you're actually, like Foos, out to shoot competitively, you can do that with an air gun as well.
Yep.
But then you start shopping around and looking at different prices on different sites, different stores, pawn shops, Facebook Marketplace, several different places that you can look. It just takes a little bit of time to dig through everything and get the information you're seeking. Another thing on the cast bullets, there's several different companies that are making molds. Lee is the cheaper of the groups. You've got Accurate Molds, you've got NOE, you've got RCBS, Lyman, and M&P from across the water. It depends on how much you want to spend for a mold. And I've shot different conicals out of my black powder stuff as well. And I do that as well. I'll cross between what you're using for black powder or for regular shooting. So there's a lot of ways that you could save a lot of money.
Well, and just if you're just getting into it, you can really take your time and start to learn. There are some wonderful, one person said that they're afraid to watch like online videos on teaching you how to reload. Manuals give you the step-by-step. The instructions that come with the kit really does make it fairly easy. If you read some of the introductory chapters in the reloading manuals, they'll explain, how to measure your powder properly and how to set up your dies, especially if that kit will come with instructions for that particular setup. And then if you watch a couple reloading videos, you start to get a feel for what they do, especially like how to the basics of reloading 101. Go watch videos on that. Watch several videos on it. Maybe note the differences in what they talk about and the equipment that they use. And it's not something you have to be afraid of. I was terrified to shoot my first reloaded rounds. I was talking to Foos about this Squib a while ago about this. He's like, don't worry, you're gonna be fine. And then I told him, I said, hey, I shot my first 5 rounds today of reloads. He goes, how did it go? I said, well, it went boom, 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 and that was it, and it was done, and I was hooked, right? So you don't have to be. I mean, it's not something. Really consider doing it, especially when we get into phases where the ammo disappears off the shelves for 6 months at a time, you can't find that caliber you want, you can go reload your rifle ammo so you can still get your hunt in this year, like like what I was doing with my 308. Or you can still reload and have something that will let you still enjoy going to the range, even though the prices might be crazy on the shelves in the store. So again, we always push for it because I wish I would have gotten into it 10 years sooner. And unfortunately, it took Squib to hook me up with a few primary components to get myself pushed into it. That now I do it. I don't do it on a regular basis, but I do it just once in a while, and it's fun. I enjoy it, and I'll press out 100 or 150 rounds at a time, and you can start to build a small inventory. And then also, like what Squib said, just buying one box at a time. When you go to the store, I used to, Walmart had ammo. It was easier just to grab a box, pay for it at the back, or throw it in the cart, pay for it, or whatever, and just do one box every time I go to Walmart. Extra $20 here or there. I didn't notice it on a $200 grocery bill, right? It wasn't a big deal. And eventually I started to build up my own little ammo stockpile. So, that's it. Tommy Gunn says, if you can read a mic, you can reload.
So,
yeah.
So the thing with me is, and reloading and online and all that stuff, online gets the process down pretty good. Whenever it comes to measuring your powder out, then go ahead and look at your book, see what you have. I really suggest loading pistol first, because there's a lot less. It's a lot less intensive. You need less stuff to do it because you don't have as much prep work for brass.
And see,
Travis.
I've heard people say that, but I started on 8mm Mauser. I just don't see a difference. I guess it's the way I look at it.
I'm not saying you can't. I said my recommendation is starting with pistol. You could do whatever you want. If you want to start loading for 8mm Mauser or 308 or whatever, absolutely go ahead and do it. My recommendation is start with pistol if you can.
Hey, Travis.
That's fine.
Yeah, single shot. Go ahead.
Number one safety factor amongst reloaders: follow that book. Do not deviate from that thing, because you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Because
until you know what
the
the hell
simple
you're
fact
doing.
is, because I've been reloading since 1970, so I got a day or two under the belt on that. Another thing too, there's a question in the chat about the
Types of lead,
composition of lead.
Mm-hmm.
There's a master bullet caster on Rumble. He goes by CW Longshot. If you've got questions about casting bullets, that's the man to ask.
Okay.
So the lead does matter. You want it for pistol. You can shoot pure lead and be perfectly 100% fine, because you're not pushing the speeds enough. Whenever it comes to rifle, that's when you need your 10 antimony and get it hard enough so it can take the pressures. But also, whenever it comes to rifle, there's gas checks. There's other stuff you could do, and there is also powder coating. That will also help you shoot a softer lead through a rifle.
And depending on how people present it on their YouTube channel, you might be overwhelmed by one channel, but then another channel makes more sense for you. If you're going to have somebody who's been doing this for a long time and they reload very specifically for very tight tolerances for a specific kind of shooting, and they are just pushing stuff and pushing stuff and pushing stuff, and it kind of intimidates you or shies you away from this, you go, I don't want to do this. That is one kind of reloading. There's other kinds of reloading where you can just crank out mass amounts of your typical target ammo, or even small batches of your target ammo. And that, I think, is better for somebody to try to start out. Just start off making some just simple plinking, that sort of, and then later try to learn things like how to make it more precision, especially if you're doing precision shooting or hunting, or try to get into maybe some calibers that are a little bit more difficult to source stuff for, or that sort of thing, or get into casting, or get black powder cartridges. Entirely different animal when you're packing that powder in there. You don't want air in that. That's something that you might not know as a beginning reloader, but most beginning reloaders don't start off making black powder cartridges. They're making smokeless powder cartridges, that sort of thing. More powder is better. Not necessarily. I accidentally used Magnum primers instead of regular. Am I screwed? Not really. you know, there are things that you pick up over time, but if you're watching different YouTube channels, you might get all these different perspectives because there's no one right way to reload. And if you got this guy that is acting like that tight shirt, shaved head, goatee instructor that goes, my class is the only way to, you know, then I don't recommend that, because that's going to discourage you from wanting to get into something that it's a rabbit hole you can go down, but it's a rabbit hole that once you go down it, I think you'll be glad you did.
Well, you also have to make sure before you do that is look at your time versus the cost, because yes, let's say you save $10 on a box. Let's say you start 308 and it's $40 a box, and you could make it for $20 a box, but it takes you like my trickler. It takes me an hour to do powder drop and seed a bullet. So if I could do something else and it takes and I could make $20 an hour, or I could do something that enjoys more than $20 an hour, I'll just go out and buy. You have to look at that as well.
Yeah.
But
hey, we're gonna move on and let more panels talk. So that's okay. Chris, go ahead and tell us, what do you do, Chris? Go ahead, buddy.
Well, I wanted to go back and touch too on what you were saying about. I did a ammo hunt video there last week because they're just videos people like to watch. And you catch flack from people because they say, well, I can't believe you're paying 10 cents for a primer right now, or 11 cents for a primer. Well, the thing is, like for me, what I'm using right now in my primer inventory is when I was getting 1,000 of them for $30. But the problem is they are going to run out eventually. I mean, you got to keep buying as you go.
Well, if you compete, you're a competitive shooter, you're going to use them, you know.
So for me, what I've done is, like Foose was saying, for me, I do competition shooting. So let's say I go out and do a gun review video. I'm going to shoot 200, 250 rounds of 9mm through, let's say if I am, reviewing a handgun and 9mm. And then I got a match on the weekend where there's going to be another 200 round shot. So during competition season, it's pretty easy for me to go through 500 rounds of 9mm in 1 week. So what I did when all this started, I put a cap on myself. So I won't spend more than 35 cents a round for factory 9mm. So like yesterday, I was able to get CCI Blazer for $16.99 a box. I got some Arms Core for $17.99 a box. So I'm under what I want to spend. And the other issue is too, a lot of times if you're doing a gun review, if you're only shooting reloads, there's people out there that are like, well, will it shoot factory ammo? So that's what I use the factory ammo for.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Now, what I won't do right now is I won't buy factory 223 or 556 because I'm not going to pay that, because I can reload it for half of what I'm paying, what you would pay for. Well, I don't know what 223's gone for.
We can get it for $11.99. $11.99 a box here for brass, $9.99, $8.99 for steel case.
Oh, that's not crazy.
The other one that blows my mind is like what they're charging for 300 blackout. I can make 300 blackout so cheap because I'll take 223 range brass I pick up, cut it down, and convert it over to 300 blackout.
Yeah, because that's $1 around right now. 75 cents to $1.
Yeah, and there's no way
300 blackout
that
is crazy right now.
It always has been. And then when the Barn All came out, that disappeared because of the Russian import.
And you literally do reload it for the same price as 556 or 223 Remington.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's what I did. I just I put a cap on myself, what I was going to spend on factory ammo. And right now, around the 9mm, even if we go with the prices I'm paying now, let's say if I'm doing 10 cents for a primer, 10 cents or less for the bullet, I'm using range brass, so I'm not going to factor in the brass, and 2 or 3 cents for the powder. I'm still being able to reload 9mm for under 25 cents right now.
And it's custom to however you want it. If you want a hot load, you can. If you want a soft load, you can. It's whatever you choose. That's the biggest thing for me in reloading is you're not basically
you can custom tailor it to however you want.
You don't have to choose, do I want this 147 grain or 119. I really want 125.
Yeah,
that.
And if you want like a self-defense round or a hunting round or a really precision target round, it costs you almost the same to reload that as it does a plinking round. Yes, the bullets do cost a little bit more. Maybe they're a little bit harder to source. They're not in stock. And there's some people say, don't use reloads for self-defense. I'm not one of those people. I use both factory and reloads. Some of the stuff that people have said online has not been true about that, but hey, you do you. Everybody make your own choice. But even so, the same kind of ammunition used for self-defense makes great hunting ammunition. And I've killed deer with my reloads. Ethically killed deer with my reloads and done it for less money than buying it at $50 a box at the store.
And something that Travis and I did is we found a good hunting load, and then we also with the ballistic tip and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we found a load that shot identical to it with a cheap bullet, and so you can go out and play with practice with this cheap bullet. And then whenever he goes hunting, he knows that they're going to fly the same.
So I can side in with my FMJs, and it has almost nearly the same velocity and the same performance at 100 yards. It zeros basically identical, both of those, even though they're not the same grain weight. It was kind of neat to do that because I can get the FMJs for about maybe 25% cheaper than what I pay for the ballistic tips. So I do save money on that end too, which is definitely a bonus. So
the biggest advantage of reloading, as far as I'm concerned, is getting the chance to be able to match the ammunition to any firearm that you're using, rifle, pistol, whatever. That's your biggest advantage, because you could take two rifles right off the assembly line, put them side by side, and they're not going to shoot the same, because there's a bit of a difference between every single firearm that's on the market. So that's the way that I look at it as far as being a hand loader, a capper. I can match my ammunition to that firearm and go to the matches with it.
Yeah. Chris, did you have anything else you wanted to add at all?
Yeah, there was one thing too that I wanted. I'm sure everybody on the panel and a lot of people out in the side chat, we all have AR-15s. Another great thing that you can get right now too is, and most people know about it, some people don't, is CMMG does make a 22 conversion kit for your AR. I have that kit. It runs real reliable, especially if you're running decent 22, run CCI or some of your
federal auto match usually is what I shoot. So yeah.
And that's a great alternative. You can still go out and shoot your AR. You can train, but you can use a cheaper. You can use the cheaper 22 long rifle.
But I would suggest if you do that, put 1, 2, 2, 3, at least 1 or 2 down the tube to blow out your gas tube.
After when you're done.
Yeah, it does get dirty.
Yep.
Okay. Defense Dad, what about you? What do you do to save ammo? Because you're late to the game. You're one of the newest gun owners in our circle here. What have you done over the last couple of years to try to save when you can or where you can? Online, coupons, rebates. What do you do?
Hell, I just shoot other people's ammo.
There you go.
No,
yeah.
No. Yeah, I got into it, about a year before the shortage. So I don't do reloading. I don't have the equipment. Right now, I'm not going to go through the expense and because primers are expensive. But so what I do is, I kind of like Chris, I have a cap of what I'll spend on a box of ammo. And when I find it for that, I used to just do the whole, pick up a box or two here and there, which I still do. But now keep an eye on online, get bulk pricing, order at least 1,000 rounds at a time, save on shipping. One big thing I've done is, and I'm kind of lucky, I've been able to form a good relationship with some places around here that do, when I say bulk ordering, I'm talking 30 to 60,000 rounds, and they'll let you get in on the order and you save money out that way too. So if you have a place where you go take classes, that sort of thing, get in good with them and see if you can get on their bulk orders. There's one guy, I just talked to him the other day. As soon as he finds ammo for X amount of dollars, he's going to order about 60,000 rounds, and he asked me if I wanted in. I'm like, well, hell yeah. So those things, kind of what Chris said too. I do have that conversion kit for my AR. You know, I take my kid out shooting. I shoot more anymore when I take my kid out than when I go out. We shoot. You're talking 300 to 400 rounds at a session just on 22.
Yeah.
Then I have to stop her. But so yeah, I'll shoot that through my AR, and I'll blow it out with a couple rounds of 5.56 to clean it out. But there's some creative ways you can do it if you're new to the game. You're not going to save as much as reloading, but it's a lot cheaper than just going to your local big box store and paying $20 to $25 a box.
Yep.
And I got that Mantis system too, so it makes dry firing a little bit more fun than just sitting there shooting at a Post-it note stuck on the wall. So you do a lot of that, and then you use your ammo when you go to the range and make sure that the actual end results are what you're getting when you're dry firing at home.
Well, dry firing is more than just shooting a Post-it on the wall. But
I understand that, but a lot of newer gun owners aren't going to know. They see you put a dot on the wall and dry fire at that, and they're like, "Well, this is boring," so they never do it.
True.
Spend $100, $150 on a system that makes it entertaining and gives you some accuracy at the same time. People are going to do it more.
That is true.
Yeah. Okay. Also joining us a little bit late, but we've got Firefighter 09100. How you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Doing good. Been working on restoring a Type 99, so that's where I've been the last few Saturdays.
No problem. Sounds good. What are you doing to save some money on ammo? What's your secrets? What do you do?
Believe it or not, I've been hitting every gun show looking for that I could get to, looking for prices on the stuff that I can't reload.
Okay. Talking like steel case stuff here or what?
Mostly like, 7.7 Japanese, your 7.62 Tokarev, stuff like that. Normally I find one or two ammo dealers at the gun shows who are selling it near at cost, so I could go and be like, hey, give me $100 worth of this stuff.
So you can reload that 7.7 Japanese. As soon as you said Type 99, a little light went off in my head. I'm set up to reload that. Sourcing components, it's kind of gone back and forth with that. It's in stock, it's out of stock. You're going to find either ammo for that or the components not as available as often as mainstream stuff like 308 Winchester. But that is a great reason to get into reloading. But I didn't consider going to the gun shows to look for ammo, especially for harder to find ammo. That's kind of an interesting take on it.
Yep. The last one I went to was up here at Berea, Ohio. I took $400 with me. I spent $200 on ammo, the other $200 on silver. Yankee. Sorry.
That's all right, man. That's all right. So again, that's an interesting take on another way to do it. You might find kind of one of those oddball calibers. I guess you go one of those rarer calibers that maybe you can negotiate on a bit more because maybe the person's taken that box of several gun shows and nobody's been interested in it, but you're showing some interest. Maybe you can just, even if you save $1 or $2, you can start to offset that cost, and it does add up if you do this numerous times. So, all right, we got to move on to New York Outcast. Hey, what do you do to save money on ammo? You can't say I don't shoot. So what do you do to save money on ammo?
Well, I'm a bit different than I guess probably everybody else on the panel. I don't reload yet, so so that's obviously a big difference in a sense. Also, my state, it's a little difficult to order online. You can, but most places refuse to even hear that. So from what I found, about 90% of online places, as soon as you put New York in there, they're done. Red flag.
So what are you looking at for a box of 9mm, 115 grain? What is it going to cost you to go to your local sporting goods store to go buy it?
To be honest, I don't know right at current time. So there's a reason for that, but that's, basically the way I've done it is ever since years ago, the initial 22 scare, I've basically been that guy where I bought a box a day, this or that, or not necessarily a day, but if I'm in the store, I usually buy a box. So I've gathered a collection that way. And also basically I travel a bit for ammo now. So if I was looking now, I would basically hit my circuit, what I call it, which includes New York and PA. And people say, oh my gosh, but keep in mind, I'm driving a little 4-cylinder while doing this. So I am spending, I don't know, $15 in gas, but it's a lot cheaper than going to a local gun shop and picking up what they have to offer, if anything at all.
Or ordering online and paying $30 to $50 for shipping,
Exactly. Depending on what you're buying.
Not every website does that. I mean, like Norma will do free shipping on orders $150 or more, Norma ammo. And if you can catch your ammo on sale, you can save versus buying it locally. But that's pretty rare. I mean, sometimes their stuff is just as expensive as on the shelves. It's always a good deal until you figure in the fact you're probably going to get sales tax anyway if you order online. And then also the shipping charges are, that just adds on those 30 boxes that you just bought. You guys spend $30 on shipping, tack another $1 on each box. And is it any cheaper than just buying it locally and having it in your hands and not waiting for it to show up, And that can be a whole nother logistical issue too, if you have to sign for it and be home for it and stuff. So yeah.
The best deals I tend to come across are honestly the box stores in PA. So most of them tend to be the most affordable cost. So usually there isn't limits. Lately, over this last year and a half, there's been limits to get around that. I usually don't go alone. So two people will go in or whatever, and we'll hit several stores. Like I'll expect to spend $200-$300 on an ammo trip. So and sometimes I can't always do that because I'm just looking for particular caliber. So that's one thing. And another thing with me that's a lot different, I just stick to pretty much NATO calibers, 12 gauge, 22. So I'm not, makes it a little easier on what's available, but at the same time, a lot of time that's what the run's on. So it's kind of hit or miss, but I recommend building a rapport. Like if you do willing to take the time on your day off or whatever to, drive a few hours or, because you can make an afternoon out of it, make a rapport with the shops that you do go to, when they realize you're serious and willing to come around or drive, they will call you and say, hey, we got this in or this in, and I'll say, hold it. And I'll be there, as soon as I can. If not that day, the next day I try to run out and, or next time I'm running around if I'm planning to. And actually they will, even through all of this, I've had people hold ammo for me, and it's almost started a fight in the store when I can't pick it up. But, that I've asked prior, they know I'm willing to, my money's good. I always pay cash, so I don't have to pay any extra for ammo down the road because I can't predict the future or what's going to come up.
Yeah.
Everybody's different on that. Example, just pulled the box out, and one of the first ones I pulled out here, this Federal, I did the math. I always keep receipts. I just throw them in the box. That way, if I was to barter, help somebody out, all that type of stuff, I know what, when, how much at the time. But that's an example of how I would store that. And I also, for fun, 22 and 12 gauge, I shoot a lot. So basically I do a lot of reloads and not reloads, but wax slugs. So these are standard. That's why it's just a clear wax. So I have other ones. This is just a couple boxes or whatnot, but very cheap, to do those and have a more solid result than just shooting standard bird shot. So I find it fun, but way cheaper than buying slugs. I can tell you that much. So, but yeah, recommend having a circuit, building a rapport with the people, and also reach out to the people let them help you if they're in their daily travel and come across something. Let them know to let and back and forth, because it's a small world, and a lot of times people see something, forget about it, tell you later, and you're like, damn, I wish you would have said something. So with text nowadays, this and that, it never hurts to say, hey, they got this over here. You want me to, you need anything or what? So, because that's worked well for me too, with people that live an hour and 15 minutes away from me. So, but I work in that area all the time. So if they come across something, I'll say, yeah, I'll pick it up next time I'm there.
I will say this about shipping. If you order, say 1,000 rounds, they want $30. What if you order 2,000 rounds? Is it still $30? And if it is, then at that point, you might save that $3 to $4 per box on that second case. That's going to make up for that shipping. So maybe if they do a flat rate shipping, or if they do the free shipping, if you order enough, you can eventually save money versus buying it locally. I'm seeing people saying that they're paying, $17 per Blazer brass. They're paying $19.99 for a box of 50 of 9mm. Or any caliber for that matter. You can save if you order enough and can get the shipping down just right. That's always been the big thing that's prevented me from ordering online, is if I just want 1,000 rounds, after shipping, I'm not going to save anything versus buying it locally. So if you order enough,
that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, get a couple of your buddies together and each of you order 1,000 rounds and you pay the flat rate.
Yeah.
It can save some money pretty quick.
Yeah, that's another good option. So, hey, you want to go halvesies on a couple cases. So yeah, single shot, go ahead.
Just a couple of quick comments. Firefighter 1, myself and Squib, both of us load 7.62 by 25.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yep, I got a friend who reloads all my 7.62 when I shoot it. So as long as I give him powder, projectiles, he reloads my shell casings for me.
Cool.
Yeah, my younger son, that's his favorite handgun caliber, and it's expensive and it goes in and out of stock. So it's a necessity for me to reload it. Now I have had some issues with some of the ammunition with feeding and in the different Tokarevs that we have, but that's more of a polishing the feed ramp kind of thing than really the ammunition. And if you're trying to get defensive ammunition, PPU started selling that, but you can buy the bullets and load it yourself too. So that's one of those rounds where I can or calibers that I can say it will eventually pay for itself.
Oh yeah.
Along the lines of what Outcast was talking about, he drives long distances for his job. So he's over here, he's over there, and he can visit these places, and it's not really costing him extra money because he's already there, that sort of thing. Up north, my in-laws live up north, and probably the best sporting goods store in Michigan is up there. And when everybody was freaking out, going, I can't find this, I can't find that, this store had all of it. They didn't jack up their prices. And I mean, you see whole families walking out with armfuls of ammo and primers and powder and stuff. So anytime we go up north, I'm driving 210 miles one way. I always make sure I stop in at that store. I've gone off air with Caliber Corner and walked into the store and lost reception. If you know of a place in your state and you just happen to be visiting family out that way, or even on the road, if you're driving through an area that has a Shields, I recommend stopping to go to a Shields. You will be really happy you did. Or just, driving down I-80, anytime I head out west, I always stop at Brownell. Sometimes I stop coming and going. There are different things, and that might slow you down a little bit if you're on a road trip or something else like that. But I mean, when we were down in Florida a few years ago, my wife was out parasailing and I hit 2 gun stores. So, I mean, there are opportunities where you're going to be somewhere where it's not a normal place for you to go. And if you know that they have it, or you want to give them a look, or you just want to support a local gun store somewhere else, there are lots of opportunities for you to find little gems in these stores and go, oh man, this is a good price. And if it means that you got to put it on your credit card now, if it's something where you know how to manage your credit, the little bit of interest you're going to pay isn't going to hurt when everybody else is coming on YouTube going, I can't find 9mm.
And that's something, like you said, is like whenever you're on vacation. I mean, if you're spending, let's say, $2,000 on a vacation, stop in an extra 20, 30, $40 for a box or 2 of ammo isn't going to, you're not going to notice it, and then, instead of going out and getting a beer with your dinner, you don't get the beer, you get water.
Yeah, it comes out of my vacation budget, not my gun budget. Yes.
For the price for a trip to Arby's for 2, you can buy a box and a half of 9mm. You know,
no,
I mean, seriously, think about these things. We get so upset about it, but we'll go drop $15 on a Whopper combo.
Yeah,
but we're upset when we got to spend $20 on a box of ammo. You know,
that stuff will kill you.
Won't, yeah, and you know they'll go out to lunch all the time. You know, $10-15, no, not bad an eye. It's like, well, just make yourself a ham sandwich at the house, take it to work, and you're, you know, also only down to $1 or $2, and you spend that for other things. It's there's budgeting. You could save money other places to where the cost of ammo doesn't really matter.
Yeah. One of the places that I go to if I'm going to order online, and I've had to do this before for making videos, there's calibers that, you know, when I was paired up with SS Pawn and Stan was loaning me firearms, there'd be calibers I wouldn't have. And I know that Tokarev was one of those ammos that I had to buy. And Tommy Gunn's bragging about how they have crates of it up in Canada. So we can't get that here. Yeah. He goes, got crate loads of 762 by 25 here. Sorry.
Just put it in your trunk and come south.
So when Trudeau comes for it, Tommy Gunn, we'll do an exchange program, Tommy Gunn. We'll what's that, Foos?
No.
I said what he's saying is that's all they have up there. Don't let him fool you.
What more does a man need, right? What more does a man need? Man. So Firefire, what are you doing? What's going on? You got your camera on. Firefighter, are you with us? Oh, there we go. Oh, the defensive line PPU. Man, I haven't seen a box of that in like 2 years. How much was that?
$30.
Ooh. Oh,
it's almost the same price as Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, yeah, but that's your defense grade PPU. That'd be
something. Also, everybody say hi to Fire Kitten.
What's up, Fire Kitten? See, I told you every gun guy is a cat guy. They won't admit it. Some won't admit it publicly, but
different kind of cat, Travis.
Yep. Patriot in the Dark says that. Good morning. Also check SG Ammo. Orders over $200 ship free. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. I go to ammoseek.com and I put in whatever caliber I'm looking for, and that'll filter price per round. Now, granted, for 9mm and 5.56 or 223, it's going to tend to be steel cases on the lower end of the price point. But at least you can see what that threshold is. What's that cutoff to get over to brass? And then I'll click on that website to see if that ammo is in fact in stock. And if it is, then I'll check the shipping price. That's one thing you can do. So that's one place I go if I'm going to buy in bulk. Yeah.
Something about right now in these times, if they don't have a pay by PayPal or Google Pay or credit card, don't do it. Like if they're like, do a money order or paying this crypto or whatever, don't do it. It is
there's scam sites out there that will jack you if you do it. If you don't know, just do a Google search on it. Just say is blank legit, and you'll find out. Like I have ordered from SG Ammo before. Yes, I've ordered from Target Sports USA. Granted, they had problems with my order, something that was unique to me, but that's just my luck. But I've heard other people say Target Sports USA is fine. I have ordered a few times from, I believe, Brownells and Midway, just to get certain calibers that I needed that nobody else had in stock. But yeah, so I mean, you do want to double check and make sure. So you might, a Lucky Gunner would be another one. True Shot Gun Club.
I can verify Target Sports.
Target Sports USA. Yeah.
Yeah, they're one that will ship to me, and I've never had any issues with them. So
mine was just a freak thing. They never pulled my order, and I waited like 4 weeks, and they're like, oh, and now then it was sold out. So then I had to wait like another. It literally took me 12 weeks to get my order from those guys, and then it was just ridiculous. Wow. I will order them from them again because nobody else seems to have that problem. It was just my luck. But Lax Ammo. Lax Ammo is a good place to check. And they do a lot of bulk reloading. And so I would trust buying reloads from Lax Ammo just because they've been in the business long enough. And then I'll read the reviews and see if people complain about issues with squib loads or anything like that. And generally, squib doesn't show up. So yeah.
What was that? I wanted to ask you. I was going to ask the panel that if anybody had bought from True Shot, because I've been seeing they're sponsoring a lot of different channels right now.
Those guys in Lax Ammo are two major sponsors. Lucky Gunner also. I have not tried them, but they're advertising some pretty good prices. I know.
I seen they had like 500 rounds of 9mm yesterday for, was it $159?
Oh,
I was just
okay.
looking at their website. They had it, but it's all out of stock. They had
it's out of stock.
$279 for 1,000.
Black's Ammo was showing some pretty good prices too on 1,000. Because I think locally, if I get 1,000 rounds of brass, depends on what does Shields want. They want 500. It's actually cheaper to buy individual boxes of Fiocchi or Blazer than it is to buy their cases, which I don't understand. But I think they're just making up for what they had to buy in at. Yeah, 500 for 1,000 of UMC, Remington UMC brass or whatever. So Freedom Munitions doesn't offer fluffy 10mm Jeep guys. There's Freedom Munitions doesn't offer free shipping anymore. I guess I just ordered over $300 of ammo with no free shipping. I watched Honest Outlaws reviews, and he did a recent order with Freedom Munitions within the last year. Really had trouble getting their ammo to cycle through the guns. I don't know if they're loading the charges light, but I did a Freedom Munitions review 3 or 4 years ago and ran 1,000 rounds of it and had no problems whatsoever. It was solid. So I don't know. Maybe it just kind of comes and goes. I don't know if they're pulling back on their charges to save money. But
Freedom Munitions, they're in the competition world a little bit. They do go a little bit lighter on ammo, on powder. But they had issues because at the very beginning of COVID, because they did try to up their output and their quality suffered.
They're owned by Lax Ammo, because when you go to Lax Ammo, it says visit our sister site, Freedom Munitions. In fact, didn't they go under or went bankrupt and then Lax bought them? Yeah. Something happened to them and they got in trouble, but they're back.
Freedom went under. And then they got their brights and all that stuff were bought.
Okay. Gunmetal Guy USA says True Shot is starting to feel the pressure of oversaturation. Everyone's hearing about them now, and they're out of stock a lot more than before the Blitz. Yeah, SG Ammo to me seems to be a decent go-to that tends to have most everything in stock there. But and then, like I said, their shipping can be high. The normal website, when it's in stock, man, $150 for an order, and you get free shipping. They were doing 762 by 39 brass. Now it was from Hungary, I think, is where that ammo was coming from through Norma. But they were doing $7.99 a box for brass. I should have bought 1,000 right there, but I didn't test it. I didn't know how it was going to run, so I only ordered 2 boxes to test it on the channel. That's where the thumbnail for today's episode came from. And it ran great. It ran really, really well. And because I thought all of the Norma ammo was maybe made in Finland or Sweden or something like that. But I don't know if they just source it from wherever they can and rebox it. But still, it's their head stamping on the cases and stuff, and I trust their quality. So AmmoSeek.com, a good place to start if you're looking for a particular caliber. Sometimes there's stuff that just doesn't pop up at all, but that's where I go initially.
The scammer websites do pop up on AmmoSeek.
They do.
So
they do. And
that can be a problem.
Yep. Firefighter showing off another box, 765 Browning. What is that, 32 ACP or something?
Yep.
Is it?
How much it cost me, Travis, at the last gun show.
Nice. 32 ACP. And so, yep. The reason why I get that comma is because in Europe they use a comma instead of a period to denote their decimal point or whatever. It's opposite in Europe. So another place to go. Now, this was a big deal 3 years ago. It was huge. Rebates on ammo. There was rebates everywhere. I remember Federal had rebates going on. Remington had rebates going on ammo. American Eagle, Federal American Eagle. If you go to rebates, just type in rebates at the guy Gun.Deals. They've got a good rebates page that you can scan. And I'm looking at it right now. And at Gun.Deals, they're showing, granted, it's season time coming up for turkey hunters. There's lots of good rebates on turkey ammo, which can be very expensive because you're buying Magnum grade ammunition. It can be very pricey for a box. Granted, you might not use as much as you do if you're duck or goose, obviously. But the fact they're doing $10, $20 rebates on a box, that makes it worth it. So do check for rebates. There's not a lot out there, but if you scan that rebates page at Gun.Deals, you can save some money. And so that's another place I just checked this morning. So if you're a turkey hunter, I mean, they're doing the rebates now because it's the season for it. We're coming up here with Nebraska in about a month, but I don't know about other states. Let's see. Patron in the Dark says sign up for email alerts helps out guys that don't go to the stores. Yeah,
that is true. But a lot of times the email alerts, at least recently, have whenever they do hit your email, they're already sold out again because they've been on the website. Because a lot of those email reports are batch jobs, so they run at certain times of the day, and by the time the email comes out, it's already gone.
Squib, you're throwing out Phoenix Ammunition. I've never ordered from them before. What can you say about Phoenix Ammunition?
Phoenix Ammunition is a small ammo manufacturer in Southeast Michigan. and I've used their ammo for years. They've got different calibers. They've got target ammo. They've got self-defense ammo. They've got frangible. They also sell other stuff like ammo cans. They used to sell Black Rifle coffee back in the day. They are involved in the Second Amendment. They're not just cashing in and running away. They are pro 2A. Now, they're a small ammunition factory. What's nice for me is I can just show up to their will call and pick it up, right? But they do go to rallies in Michigan. They go to gun shows in Michigan. I don't know if they go out of state with it, but they will ship out of state. Now, they're out of stock a lot because they're very popular. And you'll notice that if you go to their website, because you have to answer a question before it'll let you in. And after you see that, you'll get the idea. But their ammo is good. Some of their stuff is new manufacture. Some of it is reloads. I've shot both. I haven't been disappointed with it. I've used it in different guns, different calibers, and it's some pretty good stuff. There's probably other companies the size of Phoenix Ammunition in other parts of the country that just aren't very well known. This one isn't very well known. They do have a YouTube channel. You can check it out. I think recently they did a factory tour. I'd like to do a factory tour over there. Maybe one day I'll get to do that. But what kind of is a bummer is just every time I go to their site, when there's something I want, if it's out of stock, I understand they've got to deal with shortages of components like everybody else. But I'm glad that they were able to get through the last 2 years. Some companies didn't survive, and I'm glad that they're out there and that they are pro 2.
Yep. Definitely a bonus, man. What do we got out there? Some people are talking about different prices they were paying. Brass prices are starting to go up. A few people are mentioning. Tommy, that might be just up in Canada. I know brass prices have been, depends if you're buying new or what you're doing. Yeah.
So I know Squib, he's going to disagree with me on this one. The cost of the metal is going up as well. So that is going to contribute somewhat to the increased cost.
Yeah.
I know it's not going up much.
Plastic's going up more than metal right now.
Well, yeah.
Petroleum
because plastic is going to petroleum.
Better get that Glock.
That's about right, man. Better hurry up and do that. Better get it before that price jumps up on another $50 due to polymer sourcing prices. The other point I was going to make, and Chris, you touched on this earlier, caliber swapping, going for the 22 LR conversion kit in the AR. Maybe getting yourself a dedicated AR up or two that's chambered in 22 LR with its own specific bolt carrier is another option.
So I have that, and it did not run. It does not run as well as the CMMG one, even though this is a CMMG bolt and barrel. It doesn't. It didn't run as well. It does run.
They hadn't tested it as good as they could have in the development process. So it's just,
I'm also using the Remington, bucket of bullet stuff. So it could be ammo related. I just haven't shot enough because I don't shoot rifle enough.
Yeah.
Now, Outcast, you got that M&P 15. That's for training, right? At a lower cost.
Yeah, I'll kind of answer for him. I'm pretty sure. I think he's got an M&P 15 that's chambered in 22, because you can get a standalone M&P 15 chambered in 22 LR.
Yes, you can.
And so that might be the better way to go. I think I see him for around 450.
Oh, it's called 15. It's M&P 1522.
1522. So those are usually what, 400, 450 is what we tend to see them at.
Yeah,
and that has its own dedicated upper. Yeah.
Well, no, it's an entire dedicated gun. You can't put run-of-the-mill AR stuff in it.
Okay, so just proprietary, the upper and lower.
Yeah, functionally and everything, it's just like their MP AR, but it's 22. You can't convert it over. I looked at one of those. We ended up going with the CMMG conversion because I got the conversion kit with 3 mags for 150, and at the time the M&P 22 was running like 350, I think it was.
There is actually, sorry, I was shoveling and the neighbor was talking to me at the same time. But there is actually a bit of the M&P 1522 you can change, or that would be standard. Well, obviously, your accessories, I believe the charging handle can go be replaced as well.
Trigger.
Trigger.
What I meant is like stuff with
all your buttons, releases, all that stuff. For grip. The internals, no. The internals can't be, but it does come apart very similar to an AR, like way better than the Mossberg Patriot or any of these other rifles.
Yeah.
I was meaning you can't slap the MP15 lower on top, with 223 upper. It's not going to work.
Correct.
Yeah. I know a couple
carriers a little different, but it basically functions just like an AR in a sense. So it's the most similar one I've found out there. Yes. On the market, and so therefore I would consider it like a trainer, and it's very reliable as well.
Cool.
And the mags are similar.
Don't forget, you can also get platforms of shooting pistols. You can get pistols chambered in 22LR that are going to have a similar heft and feel as your 9mm. Granted, it's not going to be exactly the same, or maybe looking to something like a Taurus TX22 or the Glock. Is it the Glock 44? I can't remember. The 44 chamber 22LR. Another option is going to be a manual of arms similar to what you already own. There's 1911s that are the hell. Beretta even does a 22LR that's going to be like your 92s. 92 series. So that, that just shows you. Is that the bolt right there? Okay.
Yep.
And then CZ has the Cadet
for
their Shadow 2s.
So yeah, you can get a lot of nice full-size style handguns chambered in 22LR. Is one of the least expensive options to get you to keep going to the range, to keep shooting, enjoying it, but at the same time cut down on ammo costs, and you'll quickly pay for that handgun cost, with enough rounds down range. Especially today's $20 a box, it won't take long.
And M&P has the M&P 22. So
yeah, and then Ruger has an SR22 if I'm not mistaken also.
Yep.
So there's the
TX22 is just an amazing pistol for the money. I mean,
it is.
I found very little
problems with it, but yeah, I have one. Yeah,
I found very, very little ammo that won't 22 long rifle that won't run through it.
See, and mine's not as reliable as most people say there is.
Now, I don't know if it's different because I have the competition model versus the original. I don't know, but
yours has that slide cut in it, so it shows more of the barrel, and it has the hard mount for the arm up on the top of it. And see, ours has been fine, but I know what Sandhills has one also. Sandhills Media has one, and Shane Defense said you you had one too. Have we tried Federal Auto Matcher to see if it'll run through some CCI?
I've tried it all. I've tried everything through it, and it's not unreliable. It's just, I don't know, just my specific gun is just not. Everybody else says they never have any malfunctions with it, which I call BS because it's 22. But mine, I probably have one malfunction every 3 mags on it.
Then they got those staggered magazines, so if the rounds don't line up properly, that can cause some problems too. So, Chris, do you ever have any problems with the jamming at all? And the reason why I'm asking this is because those TX22s are going down in price now. I'm seeing them for like $250 online. There might be somebody goes out and snags one this weekend,
The one ammo that I can say has run 100% is CCI Blazer. I still have had one failure to feed off of that.
CCI Blazer is also one of your better 22s.
And that was just an ammo I had a lot of. Now there's a Winchester.
There's like the 555 or something. Is that what it's called?
It's like it's like the AR ammunition they came out with, the MP or whatever. It feeds horrible in it. It won't run. What surprised me was I didn't have any issues with Remington Golden bullets in it. It ran those just fine.
And see, usually that for a lot of people, that's kind of the, it'll start to cause it. And maybe the CCI, maybe those nickel cases help out with feeding.
And it hated the Normatak 22. It did not like that at all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, CCI and the Golden Bullet so far. I think we did have a couple failure to feeds with Federal Auto Match.
Okay. So. What about Aguila? Aguila, have you tried that? Some people call it
Haven't tried it yet.
Aguila? Okay. I don't know about that ammo. I've really not shot any of that brand at all. I need to try some of it.
It's a good brand.
It's okay.
It's a higher.
I know they've been around for a while. They're a huge company down in Mexico and stuff. But
22 is a lot better than I think he's giving it credit nowadays. If you're getting an issue every 3 mags, then I think you got a problem with your gun or the ammo, because I can go through literally thousands of rounds of 22 without an issue.
But
I don't buy anything fancy
though. Is yours a TX22?
No, it's an M&P.
Well, it's not. It's not apples oranges comparison, dude.
The M22s, I have that as well, and that thing eats anything you put
same
into
thing
it.
with the handgun or rifle. I mean,
My
it
little,
just goes.
My little Jimenez JA-22 loved the CCI ammo. It would go through stingers or go through mini mags and stuff. So
I'll say this specifically about the TX-22. You're going to have better luck if you load it with the loader it comes with, because then it staggers when the right. Because you alluded to that. When I have problems with it is when I load it by hand without the loader. I think they just get out of sequence or whatever.
Alignment, basically.
Yeah, that's when you're going to have issues with it. One thing I'll say about 22 pistols in general, and God, I cannot believe I'm saying this, but if you're going to use it as a trainer, if you carry a Glock, get the Glock 44. Because one thing I don't like about the TX-22 is it's a full size gun, but it's so light compared to anything else I ever shoot. I shoot more accurately with a little bit heavier gun, so I would try to keep. If you're going to use it as a trainer, I would try to keep it to the same weight as your carry gun.
See, I thought the TX-22 weighs like 16 ounces. I thought it's up there, but it's not going to be as much as like an all metal, say like a Remington Mark or a Brownie Buck Mark,
But since I carry like a VP9 or a PPQ, if they made a full-size version, I would rather have that, because it's a totally different feel shooting with my Taurus than my other gun. So that's what I'm saying.
No, absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you on that one too. Yeah. Yeah, so it is an option. So yeah, definitely the caliber idea of going with something a little bit cheaper. And Squid, would you say out there more calibers equals more opportunities to shoot? Yeah, and if you can shoot for pennies on the dollar essentially versus 50 cents a round, it's definitely a good thing. So yeah, I know I'm definitely gonna have to look around for ammo. Because like I said, I'm gonna be doing a couple bulk purchases myself, and I'm expecting to drop some serious money on it, and that's okay because it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause. So yeah. So now just one last thing I wanted to mention about the whole reloading thing. We talk about the price. The press that I bought back in 2019, I paid $147 for it on Amazon because I went back and looked at my video. Now that same kit, the Lee 50th anniversary Challenger press kit from Brownells, is $187, I think. So it's gone up about $30 in the last 3 years, which isn't bad. And then that and a digital scale was really about all I needed to get into it once you've got the components. So it's not like you're going to pay double. And somebody mentioned this earlier. eBay is an awful place to go. It's a horrible place to go for reloading supplies. Just watching it, they were asking double for dies during the pandemic. They were asking double for presses. It's still not the best place to go unless you absolutely have to get something from there. I typically order most of my reloading supplies from Amazon, or I'll get them locally at Shields because they're the same price as Amazon basically. Or again, Brownells. So eBay, I used to go there all the time for a lot of things, but just when the pandemic stuff was going on, like I was trying to find 308 dies and they wanted double for a set of dies versus just waiting for Shields to get the 308 dies back in stock from RCBS or from Lee. So you're not always going to save money on eBay as an option. I wouldn't buy anything used from eBay online. I would be more likely to buy something used from like Facebook classifieds because I can see it, look at it before I take it home. That's how I picked up my shotgun reloader, my Mech reloader, Mech Junior. Paid $40-$50 for it, I think, and I just found it on classifieds on Facebook. And sometimes you can find that somebody is helping somebody move out, grandpa's stuff, and they find his press and they put the press for sale on Facebook. And you can sometimes find some really good deals on there. So, but just maybe make sure you're getting yourself something where there's components available to replace on that press itself if you need it. You don't want to buy something from an oddball brand that's out of production, or you can't get a spring that you need, or you can't get a lever or whatever. So that's something you want to watch out for if you do decide to go the reloading route, which again, some people might decide to take it a little more seriously after watching today's episode. There's a couple people commenting over on the YouTube side that said that they're really considering it now just to kind of get started in it loosely and not be all crazy about it. Looking at the poll real quick, we had 67% of you say that you don't reload and 33% of you do. And again, no shaming in that. A lot of you just might not because you don't shoot that much, or it's just not convenient to, or the range is hours away. Everybody has their reasons for not reloading. But do consider it something to just kind of dabble with a little bit. Get yourself a reloading manual, a Lee or Lyman, or get both. You can buy those books used on Amazon for $15 delivered. Yeah.
The more of you that don't reload, the more components there are for those of us who do reload.
Absolutely. So don't get into
Squid.
it. You don't want to go there. You shoot your eye out, kid. I mean, don't do it. It's so difficult. I mean, God, the thought of having to reload your own ammunition is just so daunting. So just Fluffy 10 go ahead. Yeah.
Something else about getting into reloading, if you're considering it, if you have any friends that reload and they've got some older equipment and they want to give it to you to help you get started, don't turn it down. You might go, this is old, this is crappy, this is a cost savings. My first press was a turret press my buddy sold to me, and now I look like I have street credit because this press is as old as me, right? But I really love the press. I've actually looked online to see if I could get more of them, and every now and then they'll pop up for sale, and you can put a few components from a modern press on there, but for the most part, if something does go wrong with it, yeah, you're kind of there really isn't a lot that can go wrong with it, but some of the older equipment or some used equipment, or somebody buys a starter kit and they go, that scale isn't as good, or this isn't as good, I'm going to get something, but they've got this as their backup stuff. If they give it to you, that might help you to offset some of the costs. And then maybe at some point you give it to somebody else or somebody else or somebody else. Some of this stuff has got lifetime warranty. Some of this stuff you can hand down to your grandchildren. I mean, there's some other things to consider with reloading. It isn't for everybody. It really isn't. I didn't get on the reloading train for years. I got hounded and harassed and everything by my friends until I finally gave in to peer pressure.
That's what you did to me.
And now I pass it along. Yes, I did the same thing to Travis.
I blame you for my habit. You're my pusher, is what you are. So
I was talking with one of my friends that reloads. I can't even remember why it came up, but I was talking about 38 Special. And he comes into work and he puts a set of RCBS dies on my toolbox. I go, "What's this?" He goes, "I had 4 sets of 38 Special 357 dies. Here, have it. I don't need 4 sets." Right? So you just don't know what you'll get just mentioning something in passing.
Let's answer a question for Tommy again real quick. Those of you that are reloaders, he goes, ever have a primer go off, while seeding a primer? What can you expect? What's going to happen?
So I've had a 223 primer go off right below my powder hopper. Scared the living shit out of me. Whatever. The flame came up out of the case, came up over the powder, and just went away. Keep your lid on top of your powder for cases like that. I've had a couple with, because I've had a really dirty press back whenever I was reloading and had my company. I didn't keep up with the just keeping it clean. I had a couple go off while seeding a projectile, and it made a really loud pop. Brass blew up, whatever, because there's chamber's not supporting anything. Brass is gone. Bullet, went a foot. One time the bullet actually hit me. Didn't hurt. Just felt like someone was flicking me.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So, but it is a thing. It does happen on occasion. I've had the 223, and either 2 or 3 of the, I think it was 2 that went off as I was seeding a bullet. Out of the, I don't know, probably 500,000 rounds I've loaded. So it doesn't happen often. It can happen. For me, it was the 223. Whenever I seeded it, I was seeding on a crimp that I did not deburr, not deburr, but I didn't swage it. So that was my fault. All 3 of them were my fault doing it. They just don't go off because.
All right.
Yeah, and I haven't had any problems at all on mine. I do use I use the Lee hand loader, and I think that's probably going to be okay, just because of the fact it's pushing with equal pressure on the primer from the back. So, I haven't heard of anybody having problems with Lee hand loader. I know they've changed the design. I've got the newer design of it that came with my anniversary kit, and that's what I use. So it takes more time, but it's also, I can really just kind of take my time and do it while I'm watching TV or whatnot. So
I had one primer go off once, and that was from me messing around. I actually dismantled a Romanian steel case 8mm Mauser cartridge, and I dumped the powder out, and I tried to pop the primer out of the steel case. And this is a Berdan Crimps primer. It's in there, and the primer went off in the press. No powder, just the primer. Loud bang, bent the decapping pin. By the way, Lee will replace your decapping pins for free if you go onto their website and you're ordering parts or something. you'll see some of the components are free because of their lifetime warranty. They just mark them as free. So every time you place an order, just throw on an extra decapping pin. You always have a spare. But it went on, and that was me messing around, trying to do something that I shouldn't have done. I did a video on the stability of reloading components because I've had so many people say they're so scared they're going to catch their house on fire, they're going to blow up, they're going to die.
Oh God, no.
People have been reloading since the 19th century. If it was that dangerous, it wouldn't be allowed. It's about as dangerous as refueling your car. That doesn't mean that you should mess around with it. It doesn't mean that you should be trying to push the edge of the envelope, but it's really very safe. So I'm going to include a link to that video so you can see me messing around with some reloading components in my backyard and just see that this stuff, yes, if it's used improperly, it can be dangerous and destructive, but you shouldn't be any more afraid of this than really putting gasoline in your car. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not. And then also the other thing we mentioned too, put your phone off to the side, turn off your TV. I know some guys like to reload while they're in chats, and they're used to doing that, but any distractions, just put them away from you so that you don't forget. I mean, granted, your chances of double charging in certain types of ammo are going to be pretty slim. You'll know if you do it, but also I like to just do random batches. I'll just weigh the rounds just to see if they're within a certain parameter or whatever, and to see if anything looks really off. Do random. So I kind of try to keep it as consistent as I can.
The distractions are exactly why I have my screen name. I got into reloading before I got on YouTube, not long before I got on YouTube. And I wanted to have a funny screen name to kind of pick fun at myself, because if you can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? And recently I had a squib load and I was distracted. And that is exactly how I had not put powder in a couple 45 ACP cartridges, and I jammed 3 bullets down the barrel of that Ruger. And by the way, it destroyed the barrel, but it didn't destroy the gun. It didn't hurt me. Now, I'm not saying that you can't get injured with a squib load or destroy a gun. I do have a video on what happens when you put a 300 blackout in a 5.56 upper. And good thing it didn't get any worse than that. He destroyed that upper, but good thing nobody got hurt. But there are potentials for that. And if you're reloading and you're afraid that your reloads are going to get you hurt or get somebody else hurt or damage your gun, don't do something like load something really hot and then put it in a gun that ain't rated for +P or something like that, right? You know, don't put 44 Magnum in something that's only rated for 44 Special. Not that you should be able to fit it in there anyhow, but
yeah,
it's
or the powder charge at that.
But you know, some people might go, I don't want to take reload advice from a guy named Squibload. I'm simply just picking fun at myself, because seriously, and I ended up finding a source for a new barrel for that 1911. I probably could have sent it into Ruger and they probably would have replaced it for free, but I didn't know that at the time.
Yep.
But I ended up getting, and I made sure that barrel was +P rated before I dropped it in the gun, and I haven't had an issue with it since. But I was distracted. I was literally going upstairs to handle this or that. You know, Dad, I need this. Honey, I need that. And now I have a rule in my house. When I'm reloading, I tell everybody, I'm about to go reloading. Unless it is life or death, don't interrupt me. Don't bother me. Whatever you need it now. You need that pickle jar open. You need me to help you with your homework. Whatever it is, I'm going to do it before I go reloading. And that is now a rule in our house, and it is a safety rule, and it doesn't really affect anything. You know, they want me to reload because I'm their ammo source. Try reloading for 4 people instead of just reloading for 1. It can be a lot of work.
Yeah. Dad, where's Dad? He's in the cave again. Okay, we'll talk to him tomorrow. So that gave me a really good idea for something.
So
another word to the wise: do not mix alcohol with gunpowder. My next door neighbor many years ago found that out the hard way by reloading rifle powder in a 44 Magnum, and the Ruger Blackhawk that he was firing blew up in his face. So, like not a good idea.
M80 go off.
Stay away from alcohol when you're reloading.
So yeah, and don't smoke while you're reloading.
Yeah.
So like the first several times you do it, yeah, be totally. That's the only thing you do. Like,
right.
I have an automated press. I have sensors. I will sit there and play with my phone because I have stuff and I trust it.
Yep.
Whenever I did stuff that wasn't like whenever I did my Lee turret or lock and load or whatever, that was the only thing I was doing, because I had less automated stuff. Yeah. So yeah, just pay attention to what you're doing. I did double charge a 45 ACP. I still have the piece of brass, the shards that are left. So I've never had a squib. I have had a 223 where I was all suddenly I'm like, oh crap, I'm out of powder. I looked down and I had probably a couple hundred rounds that I loaded, and I just ran out of powder because I was doing something different. I was used to reloading a pistol where I could, fill up the hopper and it's 1,000 rounds. Well, 223 takes a lot more powder. I ran out of powder. There was probably 10 or 15 rounds that didn't have powder. Luckily enough, I was using a powder that did not fill the case up, so I was able to shake them and hear if there's powder in it or not. And I found one that had a light charge because whenever I shook it, it was louder and there was less powder in it. And I pulled all those bullets, reloaded them, and and then whenever I took that out to the range and I shot each one, no rapid fire, no nothing, and I just went through all that ammo. So that's if you reload, don't have a whole bunch in your bucket at the bottom, because if you do find an issue, you don't want it to find an issue, look down and have 3,000 rounds of stuff that it could be mixed in with.
A good rule of thumb as far as that goes to prevent that kind of stuff happening is take a load that you put together, a recipe that you put together. Your scales are your best friend. Weigh it. Because if you've got a squib load and a possibility, that cartridge is going to weigh lighter than the rest of them.
Pistol,
you'll catch
pistol it. You probably won't notice.
Yeah,
because
I've had some.
It'll catch some, but I know like 9mm, you probably won't, because you're only putting like anywhere from 4 to 5 grains in there, and a lot of times your case will be off by almost that much.
Well, and if I would happen to double charge 9, doing one round at a time, I noticed that difference in the volume. It's like, okay, there shouldn't be 1/8 of an inch from the top with powder. I definitely screwed something up, which I've never done that, but I've been very careful, step by step doing it. So,
well, no, I'm saying if you don't have powder, if you do have powder in it, like 9 and 40, 40 you can, but 9 you're not going to double charge without powder coming out the top.
Real quick, we got a question from Gunmetal Guy USA, and then we're going to go ahead and mix it up, or go ahead and finish this one up here. Gunmetal Guy USA says, can't get to the outdoor home range. Normally use buckshot. Indoor range only allows slugs. Not a long-term shotgunner. What slug brand specific can be shot in full choke 20 gauge shotguns? Thank you.
Do not.
I guess it depends if you've got yourself a rifle barrel in that 20 gauge. If it's a traditional smooth bore, go ahead, single shot. Yeah, what do you want to say?
Do not put a slug through a full choke barrel. I've got a 12 gauge that I can prove that. I let this thing out to a friend of mine and told him specifically, do not put a slug through my shotgun barrel. He did.
You might have to go back to your manual, because you might be able to run in improved cylinder or modified, or just open bore with just the
improved cylinder modified.
Choke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that barrel bulged and he almost banana peeled my shotgun barrel.
You want to know what that choke? If it's a fixed bore, if it's just preset to full and you can't do anything with it, unless the manual says it's okay, I would not do it. No.
Don't do it, because what that full choke does, it chokes it down below the diameter of your slug.
And again, I can't comment on it because I don't know. Because when I shoot slug, I've got a Mossberg 835 that has an actual rifle barrel that you have to use with Sabo slugs. And so I don't know, because I've never fired the non-Sabos through that shotgun. I've never done other slug shooting at all through another shotgun. So if the gun has just an improved cylinder or a modified or open bore or whatever, you'll be okay. But nothing more than that. And again, you want to refer to your instruction manual. If it isn't one, go online and look it up for your shotgun. You should be able to find one that you can download, and that'll definitely tell you. You definitely want to be careful with that one. So All right, I guess we didn't really talk about saving money. You know, I guess we didn't really get into much about with shotgun ammo and things like that. It's going to be a lot of the same situation. Shotgun components don't seem to be quite as expensive. The lead's a little pricey, but it depends on if you're a trap shooter, if you've got the holes to reuse, if you've got primers.
I did start looking into shotgun stuff. By the time I was able to buy the components, just looking at the components, because I don't look at the press as a part of the components.
Just the tool. Yeah, it's just your tool.
But the components, and I was able to buy, and still am able to buy everything needed for cheaper than reloading.
Okay.
But that was that's my use.
I
don't shoot a bunch. If you buy in, instead of 25-pound bags, if you're able to buy lead pallet at a time, you may be able to get cheaper. But it wasn't cost effective for me.
I want to say when I was looking, I have the stuff to do it. I have the press, I've got the holes, I've got the lead, the primers, and I just haven't done it. I might do it this summer. When I was going to do it, if I was to get like a box of Winchester Super X or something, if I was going to get a comparable round, I think I was going to save like $3 on every 25 shells that I shot. But if you did competitive trap shooting, you could potentially save that money, depending on if you're reusing your holes, if you can or not. And then the new ammo that I bought was Fiocchi, like Range Dynamics trap ammo, which Shields carried, and was really cheap. But I've also read that that's not the best holes to reload. So I went out and bought Winchester once fired holes, bought couple big bags of them. And again, that's another thing. Sometimes you can find that stuff. Sometimes people will sell all that stuff in one big lot on Facebook. Like they buy it, realize they don't want to get into it. You might get everything except for, primers, powder, and shot. So I wouldn't take the powder anyway, unless it was factory sealed. So that's the other thing too. So yeah, it was going to cost me, I think, like $9.75 to do 25 rounds of I can't remember if it was 2 3/4 or 3-inch rounds. I think it was 2 3/4 inch, just birdshot essentially. But but again, the prices of that ammo, that was some of the last ammo on the shelves too, is shotgun ammo. So I really can't comment much on that. But again, saving money with it, look for rebates online. Walmart is still one of the least expensive places to buy shotgun ammo. If your Walmarts do carry ammo, ours do. Otherwise, buy in bulk. You can buy a lot of the cases at a time, 100 rounds or 200 round boxes of shotgun ammo. That will definitely save you money too. Versus buying individual boxes. So yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, I don't buy individual boxes unless it's like a slug or something. If it's birdshot, I do at least a case at a time.
Yeah, Patriot in the Dark says I just bought 1,000 shells of 12 gauge from SG Ammo with free shipping. Check it out. And he bought that for, I believe, his granddaughter, who's going to be doing competitive trap shooting. So yeah, online prices. Check online prices for that too. That would be one where you definitely
daughter.
What's that?
Daughter.
I don't know how old he is.
You're going to give Patriot a heart attack. He's going to be.
Oh God, he might have a grandchild he doesn't know about. I don't know. I mean, Patriot might have. He was quite the cavalier in his younger days, so who knows? Maybe he might have grandkids he doesn't know about. So
he still thinks he's cavalier.
He is, man. That dude's a straight up. He's a baller, man. He's a player. I don't know what that means. Kids say it. He's drip, whatever the hell that means. So anyway, all right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. So we're gonna let everybody kind of give their final thoughts, and once it warms up, who knows? I might just hit the range today too. So again, don't forget about the range day, June 4th. Email me at thecalibercorner@gmail.com or email defensedad at, what did you say, defensedad1@gmail.com. Is that right, defensedad?
Yep.
If you're interested in that YouTuber range day, go back and watch the beginning of the video because we covered all the details on it. Gonna try to make it worth your time and just make it as a fun event where we can all get together and do some shooting. And if you feel like doing some filming, that'd be great too, but that's up to you. All right, so Squib, we'll go ahead and start off with you. Any final words you want to give us before we shut this one down?
I know it kind of turned mostly into a reload show, and for some people that might just be something that doesn't interest them.
Yeah.
But you never know. I was skeptical. I didn't think I would ever get into reloading. I never saw that it was cost effective or anything else like that. But it is something that it is another hobby, like Foosh said, and it is another facet of firearms. It's not a bad skill to have. It's not a bad investment. It's not for everybody, but that's not the only option. And I'm kind of glad that we covered other avenues to, kind of outside of the box ways to deal with making shooting more affordable than just doing reloading, even though we were kind of heavy on that. So if you're coming in at the end of the show, go back and listen to it. There was a lot of good advice. I think we had a good panel this morning, and you said if it gets warmer today, I don't think it's going to get warmer.
I think we're going to get up to 40. It's 20 right now. I'm going to wait till after it warms up a little bit, but yeah, there we go. There's some New York Outcasts.
Yeah. See, I guess I shouldn't complain. I don't have that. Look at
so
that.
One thing I want to say real quick about us reloaders, one of the reasons why we give you so much info is because those of us that do it, I mean, some of us do it just strictly for a cost savings or whatever, but a lot of us are very passionate about it because we've seen the enjoyment reloading has brought us. So you want to share that enjoyment with others, which is why we're like, oh, you got to do this. Don't be afraid of it. We're just trying to encourage you to do it because, in my opinion, my experience is that the reloading community has been very inviting and very informative. And I've always had somebody. I mean, SingleShot mentored me through my first rounds. He's the one that helped me get my press set up and run through it. You know, we did a live chat and he helped me. So yeah,
it's just like, so reloaders are just like firearm guys.
Yeah.
Well, we are firearm guys, but it's, you know, you go out to the range and you're sitting there shooting. You're like, oh, I've always wanted to shoot that. Here's this gun, you know, go shoot it. But that's how we are with reloading. Like, we want more people in the hobby, unless, until everything's scarce.
Component runs out. It's like, no, don't get into it. Don't get in. But yeah, it's just the fact that we don't want to see you empty-handed and not have the ammo you need when you can't get the ammo you need, you know?
Right.
So that's part of it. Yeah.
And having a healthy reloading culture is overall a good thing.
Absolutely.
Whenever companies could be like, hey, I'm instead of, I may be able to take and make something to help out the individual. That's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man. Squib, anything else you want to finish up with before we move on?
No, just a good show, good topic.
Thanks, man.
Interesting topic, and yeah, I'm glad you plugged the June thing at the beginning and the end of the show for people that are coming and going during their morning activities. Anybody's welcome to come out to this thing, and you've got several months notice instead of just like a couple weeks notice. So if you're really interested in this sort of thing, I would recommend it. If you're a small YouTube channel or you're new to YouTube, you're a gun guy on YouTube and you want to network out or whatever, anytime you can go to an event, a rally, a trade show, one of these YouTube get-togethers, something like that, and it's not one of these, you shall not pass kind of events. It's something where anybody can go. Just go ahead and go. Don't be intimidated or afraid or anything else like that. You'll find out that we're regular people like everybody else. Just because we're on social media doesn't mean that it's a lot of fun. Even if the first thing you go to is just a Second Amendment rally and you end up seeing some people that you see on camera out there or something, it's just a good opportunity to just say hi, shake hands, and maybe learn a little bit more if you're trying to figure out, how do I make range videos, or what do you guys use, or what little things, tips and tricks, or what sort of obstacles have you guys had to overcome? It's a good opportunity, and if you've never been to Nebraska, I recommend going. And like for me, I don't put out much content. All my content is me shooting. I do it for myself. If you go back, I had some chats and stuff going on, but as of recent, it's nothing but my competitions. That is a reference for me. If other people enjoy it, that's great. I'm going to it. I just RSVP'd today. I was planning on going the entire time, but so you don't have to be a content creator in that sense to go.
Yeah. Cool, man. All right. Let's see, Chris, anything you want to say before we go?
No, I really appreciate you having me on. Side chat was awesome today. A lot of great questions, and hopefully we answered some of them.
Yeah. It was a pretty busy one. Yeah.
And anybody over in the side chat, by far not the best reloader or anything like that, but if someone over there is thinking about getting into it, if I can answer any questions, my email is in my about section of my YouTube channel, and feel free to reach out to me. And if you got questions or thinking about buying a component or something, and let me know and I'll help you out with whatever I can.
Cool. Appreciate having you here, man. It's good to have you show up and be here and contribute and just be part of the crowd. So it's awesome. Thanks, man, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Cool. All right, Foos, any final words of wisdom?
Wait. Wisdom?
Yes.
And me?
Well, with wisdom comes age, and you're not getting any younger, so surely you know something. Yeah.
I know how not to blow myself up.
That's always a good start. That's not a bad thing.
No,
That's awesome.
Whenever it comes to shooting, just like with everything, don't blow your entire wad. Don't sit there and go absolutely crazy. Drop, go out and shoot 1,000 rounds and think you could have, people could afford it. You can't. Well, I shouldn't say you can't, but because I don't know your financial situations. But just shoot within your budget. If get into reloading, get into bulk. Buy every now and again. However you do, just keep shooting.
Absolutely. Right on, man. Cool. All right, Defense Dad. Anything you would say before you go?
Good show. One thing I did forget to touch on, if you want to save money on ammo, when you do shoot, make it count. Learn drills that focus on your skills, and you can there's drills you can shoot, say 100 rounds, and you can get way more practice than if you're just sitting there popping off at a paper target for 300 rounds. So learn those things. Other than that, good show. Had fun.
That's where dry fire comes in. You can learn 90%, 95% of your skills. You can do it without ammo. And then you use ammo to confirm that your drills are doing what you want them to do.
Good drill to learn is a casino drill. That's going to teach you proper shot placement and reloads, and it doesn't take that much ammo.
Did you say casino? I'll be there.
Casino drills.
Yeah, man.
Fun.
Squib's a gambling man. He's a gambler. He's a high roller, man. He's a baller too. Squib is so drip right now. It's not even funny.
Man, I can't wait to get
back. I have no idea what the hell you just said, Travis.
I don't. I have. It's a term I hear at my job. It's lit, or it's drip, or it's. Yeah. I have no clue what these kids say.
Do you have to like
Travis doesn't know what
these terms? UrbanDictionary.com or something. Do you Google these terms after you hear it? Like after the kids leave the classroom?
I actually I know what they mean. I'll never use something that somebody says that I know is going to be inappropriate because most of the time it doesn't pop up, so it's not an issue. But I have urban, but you have to watch out because those words can change meaning. So you have to watch out because things can change. Or if I say something that's like old school, sometimes the children just don't identify with that.
The youth have a constantly evolving language.
Oh, absolutely. They've got different dialects they speak. There's that academic dialect with other adults and members of authority, and then there's amongst themselves where it's all hip hop. So it's all
Oh yeah, my daughter has probably a full vernacular eye rolls how she communicates when I say stuff.
It took me like a second. I was like, oh, eye rolls, gotcha.
Oh man. All right. We're good to go. So, and let's see here. Defense Dad, you guys make sure you check out his channel. Lots of good content, lots of stuff going on. And so okay, moving on. Single shot. Anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, anything you do on everything that we've done today, I talked about today, be safe. And if you got
absolutely
questions, ask. You can gather all kinds of different answers to the same question. You just sit down and go through it and find what is best that works for you. Now, just as an example for what I just finished up, a 1,500 round wad of 9mm, I think I've got $100 sunk into it. So you can definitely save some money. It's the same way with finding the deals that you can find. Shop around, check things out. Like I said, Facebook Marketplace, through the gun shops, through the pawn shops, through the stores when they have the sales on stuff. It's some time invested in it, but you could save yourself some serious money. So with that, everybody take care. God bless. Thanks for the invite, Travis. Always have a good time. Fantastic chat today. Take care. America moves by truck.
Absolutely. Keep that in mind, people. All right. And last but not least, we got Firefighter. Anything you want to say before we go?
My dad advice for the chat. Let's see. Don't buy hard to find ammo unless you're gonna reload it.
Exactly. It's it can be an expensive decision to make. Say you go get that Martini Henry rifle or whatever, Squib, and then you find out that
my goodness, don't even.
That ammo disappeared at some point at like the end of the 18th century, you know?
Yeah, anybody who's like, man, I got this great deal. I didn't have to fill out a 4473. The thing's still a shooter. All I have to do is find this stuff called 577-450. Does anybody know what that is?
It sounds like a lug nut or something you put on your car. No.
I mean, for my 32 ACP, that was the most expensive thing I bought at the last gun show. $45 for that small box.
God. That's insane. That's
Do
crazy.
you make your loads for your Martini Henry shaken or stirred?
He likes them dry. He likes them dirty.
Yeah.
It's a drinking term, by the way, people. Calm down. Get your minds out of the gutter. So
yeah, I'll have to explain that on Cocktails with Squib. I'll have to do a neat and dirty video.
That's awesome. That would be so lit. Squib, I'll tell you what, that would just be dripping with swag. So, all right.
Travis.
And remember, kids, stay away from the darts when you're reloading, when you're rolling your own. So, darts are references for cigarettes, by the way, just so you guys know. I got a whole dictionary I can educate you guys.
I know an English reference for cigarettes that we can't say on this show.
No, we're not going there. But yeah, firefighter, go ahead. Was I just speaking to you? Did you just understand what I just said?
Look, I'm probably the youngest person in this chat right now at 32 years of age.
Oh, no, never mind. You're way old. You're
he's
old
still
school,
older than AWAG.
And I could tell you, I hear that at the factory all the time because we have some like 19 to 21-year-olds at the factory I work at.
Dude,
I'm
that is dope. That is dope. Now, for me, dope
that's
is
my
the recordings I make when I shoot at the
generation.
range. Yeah, for some people, dope is an addiction. It's an addiction for me at the range because I'm writing down my ballistics and drift.
Hey,
but
you just need to take a chill pill and just chill out.
Dude, you're so not rad, Stud Muffin. Let's make Stud Muffin great again. Let's start using it. Anytime somebody shows off, we're gonna start calling him Stud Muffin.
Let's not. That was one of the things the recruiters would say to us whenever we walked into the office to try to get some kind of papers.
What's up, Stud Muffin?
What's up, Stud?
I mean, I got a tactical muffin top, but I'm not a stud, so yeah. All right, we're gonna go ahead and end this. We're just being dumb.
I have way more than a muffin top. It's like
a
full loaf.
It's a tactical scone top as well. I'm a triangle-shaped scone.
No, Foos,
I got the entire bakery.
Tactical meatloaf.
You are Cinnabon. You are Cinnabon right there. You're Foos Bun.
I got the entire bakery.
That's right, man. Got a couple bear claws stuck right here. So,
you got a truck
all right.
spare tire.
Who's joining us today? Oh, I got a full size spare. Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy, Ozzy Orsborn out there, Defense Dad Tread, Tommy Gun, Gunmetal Guy USA, Patriot in the Dark, G23's out there, Ozzy Orsborn, M Gabriel, SS Pond. Hello, Stan. Let's see, Squiblift out there and over here. X Adam 1 joining us. YNH in the house. Chris is over there and over here. Kevin Jung is with us. Defense Dad's with us today too. Paper Plane Crash watching. Says that he's got 4 TX22s that he uses for concealed carry classes. They run great with CCI Blazer. I think he also said that if you run the Remington Golden Bullet, it's a great way to practice malfunction drills. So that's something to keep in mind. EDC Dragon 45's in the house. Mountain View watching today too. Tara had one out there. Tara Smith's Kitchen. Let's see. She had mentioned something. I wanted to get to her comment here real quick. Doing a video on like SHTF cooking or something like that. Tara Smith's Kitchen. Get over there and subscribe to Tara Smith's Kitchen. That's a great channel. And was going to do something. Let's see here. You're doing a thing on your Discord, SHTF meals, things you can fix from your pantry if you've had no electricity for a couple months. I will cook the best one live. There you go. There you go. I use Sterno, a little camping stove if I have to. That's kind of my backup. So MZ's out there and Tactical FUD watching. Burnaby Sanchez with us today too. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. New York Outcast was here for a while. He's out finishing up the shoveling going on there. And let's see, Patriot in the Dark. I think that's about it. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. The silent ones out there. Ozzy Orsborn watching today too. Make sure you guys check out G23 show today, I believe. And also Rick's Life as I See It will be going live here in a little bit. Also, Sean Ponnery has a show too called The War Room. Make sure you guys check out Sean Ponnery's channel. He's got a great little news broadcast that he does where he talks about the events that are going on, but he does have a weekly show that he does too, just so you know. Let's see. Otherwise, I think that's about it. So this has been Caliber Corner episode number 227. Join us next week for episode number 228. Don't know what the topic is yet, but we'll come up with something, and we'll have ourselves a good time. Also, I may be doing, maybe this week we'll just do a dry run and see how a Thursday night show goes from 6 to 7. See how many people I have set for corking, and just see if anybody shows up to watch. So we might just do that too from 6 to 7, if I don't forget. Central time, the only time zone that matters. It's in the middle because everything else goes around it. So that's all I have to say. All right. And on that note, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching Caliber Corner. Have fun. Be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.